For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 5:03 and 63 degrees in St. Louis. St. Louis City homicide detectives are investigating a shooting in North St. Louis after one of the victims died at the hospital following the shootout. Officers responded to the 5300 block of Ruskin Avenue. That's in the Mark Twain neighborhood around 2:30 on Sunday. A 23-year-old man died in that shootout. Two other men are hospitalized in critical condition. 3 people were killed and several others were injured Sunday afternoon in a horrible crash involving multiple vehicles, including a tractor-trailer in Jefferson County. Both lanes of I-55 were closed for more than 4 hours. Police have not yet released details on what led to that multi-vehicle fatality. Missouri's new congressional map became law on Sunday after Governor Mike Keogh signed it during a private event in Jeff City on Sunday. The map specifically expands the 5th Congressional District in Kansas City by incorporating suburbs and more rural areas. That now becomes heavily Republican. One of the Cardinals' most beloved and well-known fans has died. Marty Prather, known as the Sign Man for his large, witty posters that he displayed for over 5 decades at both Cardinal games and Missouri State games, passed away due to a respiratory illness over the weekend. Prather was just 67. In weekend sports, the Chiefs won in big fashion on Sunday. They hammered the Ravens 37-20. Hey, and the Bears won. They edged the Raiders 25-24. The wild card table is set in Major League Baseball's playoffs. They begin tomorrow. In the American League, it'll be the Tigers taking on the Guardians, Red Sox and Yankees. The National League has the Reds and Dodgers, and the Padres traveling to Chicago to face the Cubs. In golf, Europe edged the USA 15-13 in the highly heated Ryder Cup, played in Farmingdale, New York. It is 5:05, 67 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Temperatures are warm, but the humidity is also low. Lots of sunshine on this Monday. Let's warm it up to about 88 degrees this afternoon. Tonight, clear skies. Beautiful evening as temperatures drop quickly with the dry air. 64 for the low. Tuesday, sunny. Back to 88 degrees. 63 on Tuesday night. Wednesday, plenty of sunshine. 86. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Byrne.
He is back today, the Marc Cox Morning Show, and you can take it with you anytime, anywhere. All you have to do is download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, welcome back, baby. I'm happy to be back. I had a fantastic vacation. Woo! Thanks to Dan Buck and Ryan Recker and, of course, Ethan for holding down the fort here. But it's good to be back.
It is not the same without you, brother.
I am a little jet lagged, but thank you for that.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, but not the same. I just missed you, man.
Dan, I appreciate that. It was a fantastic 10 days. I have to tell you. Went to Central Europe. I didn't talk about this a lot before we left because you don't like to broadcast that you're out of town.
We're going out of town.
But this was a long planned vacation, and went landed in Prague and went to Vienna after a few days, and then ended up in Budapest and saw all these little great towns in the Czech Republic and Slovakia and Hungary. These little quaint river towns like Derstein. It was fantastic. It was just unplug from everything and kind of get away from it, and went with a great group of people through Guidester Travel, and it was a lot of them are listeners to this show, and we just had a great time.
Is it now? It wasn't an actual cruise, right? It wasn't a river cruise. It was just a driving tour where you stopped in each little town.
It was a land tour.
Yeah.
And Jack, our guide, just did a fantastic job. We had a couple local guides that helped us out. Saw some eye-opening things that I'll comment on here this morning in Europe. But here's the greatest thing about it: we arrived in Prague on that Wednesday night. I left here on a Tuesday. We got there on Wednesday, and we're in Prague. And the headline in Prague is that there was a Charlie Kirk memorial had been set up on a street corner. And that's what the local media was covering because, of course, there were some people there who were upset about it, but there were a lot more people there who were mourning Charlie Kirk. And this was several days because this was Wednesday or Thursday, and his memorial wasn't until Sunday, right?
Yeah, it was
that Sunday.
It was incredible how little press the international outcry and the international respect for Charlie was just not publicized. We didn't see hardly anything here. We knew there were some things going on because of social media, but the mainstream media just kind of chose to ignore the global respect that Charlie got around the country.
Yeah.
So you saw it firsthand.
I got to see it. I mean, I didn't actually get to talk to anybody about it, but at the end of the day, it was reassuring to me because here's the problem: if you've ever traveled to Europe, well, for that matter, if you've ever traveled to Mexico or Canada, right? You don't have to go all the halfway around the globe. The only information you can find on their television sets is the BBC World News or CNN International, right? That's pretty much what you're limited to try to get American news. So everything they get is filtered through CNN.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't get Fox News over there. You couldn't get any media that wasn't well center left in the United States. Al Jazeera English is over there, right? Broadcast. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So when you hear about in Europe, Europeans don't like Donald Trump or whatever. They've been fed a crap sandwich with a smile. Let's put it that way.
Is that because the government kind of censors who's allowed, who's not allowed, who gets airtime or broadcast rights?
Well, why did in airports here, CNN used to be the only news you'd ever see up in airports all across America. So I don't know the reason. I know the last place we were was Budapest, where Viktor Orban is the president now, and he's pro-Trump. But even there, I mean, you still couldn't get media that I paid attention to. I mean, I tried. There were 40 channels. I tried flipping through all of them. Most of them I couldn't understand what they were saying, but there were a couple of English language channels, but they were not. It was not anything other than CNN type reporting. Period.
Wow. I mean, you'd think in Italy, you'd think in Poland, you'd think in all these countries where they have new leadership that is pro-Trump, that maybe they'll begin to broadcast a more even playing field, at least give people some alternative voices.
Well,
that's crazy.
I will say this. On last Sunday, I intentionally tuned into BBC just to see if they would cover the Charlie Kirk memorial, because in my opinion, there was nothing bigger happened in the world that day than 100,000 plus people and more that couldn't get in the stadium gathering down there for that memorial. The president was there and all that. And I'm thinking there's no way they can ignore this. And to their credit, it was their lead story. But their sentence read like this: today in the U.S., thousands gathered to honor the controversial commentator Charlie Kirk. So he was controversial, and they limited the 100,000+ to thousands.
Yeah, and 100 million streams.
Yeah, thank you.
100 million streams globally.
Oh yeah,
in all the different platforms. It was one of the most viewed events in the history of mankind. I mean, the numbers are just astounding. How many people streamed it live?
It was pretty amazing. Thank you to my friend Richie on Facebook this morning, who's the new guy. That's his comment. I appreciate it. It is weird when you're gone for 9 days. Like it was a half a week and then a full week. But anyway, we're back and happy to be here. What did I miss, Dan?
Man, I'm just saying there wasn't a ton of news. Obviously, the Charlie Kirk funeral or memorial was incredible.
Nice of the governor to wait till I got back to sign the bill.
He waited for
Thank
you. That's
Governor.
exactly what we heard. It was a private event. I'm sure you were invited over there to the governor's mansion for that private ceremony where he signed into law the congressional map, which took him a while. Why do you think he waited 3 weeks to sign it?
I don't know the answer to that question, and I'd love to get him on and ask that. I mean,
I didn't know if there was some political reason why he chose not to, and he still also did not sign. I don't believe in that ceremony. He did not sign the other law. that was
the
passed
IP reform?
The IP reform was
Interesting.
not yet signed.
Yeah, I don't know why the delay. Maybe he was on vacation or something. Do you have any idea?
No,
he wasn't in Europe with me, I don't think.
No, I know
but
he was active in a few other things. I heard him on a couple interviews. So, no, he was in town. Wasn't like he was on a 3-week sabbatical or anything.
Yeah.
Boeing strike's still going, by the way.
Man.
That was one thing. They voted down they had reached an agreement between leadership of the union and the company, and then the body, the 3,200 members, voted it down. They're now in week 9 of that strike at Boeing.
So thank you. Debbie says it was a great show while I was gone. I don't know what she's mean. What do you think she means by
Debbie.
that? Thank you, Debbie. No, appreciate Ryan Recker and Dan and everybody holding up their end of this. I assume Scott J. Gow for part of that. Was Scott in here too?
Yeah, Scott came in, did the news.
A couple times.
That's awesome. So here's one thing I will say. Even though it was news here, I didn't see of course, most of the local broadcasts are in Czech or Hungarian or whatever your country you happen to be in, Austria. But there wasn't a lot of hubbub about incursion into their airspace by Russia. Like, I was back here before I realized that I saw some story about drones somewhere. But then yesterday I see that apparently the Ukraine and Zelensky are into it with Orban, who's claiming that there's some political reason that they're claiming that some drones ended up in their airspace. I don't know. But they didn't treat it with nearly as much emphasis over there as we have over here in the media.
Well, I know Trump urged EU nations to shoot down any Russian aircraft, drones, or aircraft that are using their airspace to get into Ukraine. That would include Poland. That would include some of the other nations, and they have said that they are indeed going to begin shooting them down if they enter their space. And, Poland's got some of our new F-35s. They've got some of our advanced weaponry and jets. They definitely could take down some of these if they choose. It just becomes a much larger conflict at that point.
Well, I don't want to encourage that, but I do think that Vladimir Putin does not understand anything other than strength.
Yeah, that's true.
And if he loses a few of his jets, his economy's going down the crapper. He cannot sustain a war on two fronts. Can't do it.
No.
And I don't think he's going to drop nukes, but I hope they play hardball with him. All right. Well, in welcoming me back, we have gone long past the time when I should have done the short list. So here, I'll just call an audible. Ethan will do that when we come back. How about that? We'll take a quick break. And first, let's get to our national anthem. Good to hear that again.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Hi, this is Steve Butts with the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. I know we're all experiencing sticker shock when you get your insurance premium. Now more than ever, you need an independent insurance agent to find the best value for your family's insurance needs. Crawford Butts, family owned and operated for more than 60 years. Please give us a call at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Well, I'll tell you what, we had that closure this weekend of westbound 44 at 270, and traffic is moving well through there. So it is not running late as far as construction goes, and you can sail through there this morning with really no issues, at least at this hour. And we do have light traffic out there right now from North County all the way down to 55. We're looking good. And quiet on the Illinois side as well. If you are up early on the Illinois side, maybe headed for the bridges downtown, things are fine. I'll keep you posted. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Live, local, and conservative. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Shortlist.
Totally up to the Democrats. The ball is in their court. There is a bill sitting at the desk in the Senate right now. We could pick it up today and pass it. That has been passed by the House, that will be signed into law by the President to keep the government open.
That was John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, I should say, saying, listen, we don't need to shut the government down, but the Democrats are trying to force a bunch of stuff back in that we've eliminated, and the answer is no, and we passed a short-term spending resolution through November, and it's really up to them as to whether or not the government shuts down in about 48 hours.
James Comey lied to Congress. Okay, he took an oath. He said things to Congress that were simply not true. It's called perjury.
Yeah, there you go. And I couldn't agree more. All this happened while I was out of town, but long overdue for a little justice for the no one is above the law crowd.
This campaign was for the underserved, the marginalized, the abandoned, and betrayed by government. Since then, it has been my honor to be your mayor.
Eric Adams is out. Now, I think it's probably a little late in this race. He was in fourth place. Mamdani is leading. I don't know that him dropping out makes enough difference unless maybe Sliwa drops out too and some of those votes consolidate. But it looks like with or without Adams, New York's about to have a socialist as a mayor. That is on me. Hang on.
The idea that this is driven by politics, I think is preposterous when you actually read the details of the indictment and the obvious fact that James Comey did lie under oath to Congress multiple times.
Yep, there's the vice president yesterday. I love, Dan, the no one is above the law crowd. I've got a clip here somewhere if I dig into my files with the Democrats where it was on the Democrat talking point list that day, and it was handed out to all the media and MSNBC, and they'd lead every story with no one is above the law when Trump got indicted on some kind of chicken crap of charge in Georgia, or Letitia James in New York City, who created a new law that nobody had ever been charged with before and then charged Donald Trump with it. It's laughable.
It all comes back full circle. I mean, I love the fact that they're now having to eat those words, because we talked about this last week. I don't think Comey is where it's going to end. I think we've got 4, 5, 6 potential convictions coming.
Who didn't get a pardon?
Who did well, and remember, some of those pardons came about through auto pen, and if they're deemed to have not had the presidential knowledge when they were executed, they're saying a lot of those are going to be completely not eligible.
I pray for that day. That would take a Supreme Court decision, though, and that could be a couple of years away. And here's the thing about it. I mean, like, there's not a statute of limitations on murder and things like that, but in a lot of these smaller crimes, there is a statute of limitations. This gets dragged out in court for 2, 3, 4 years. I hope it wouldn't take that long for some sort of a final decision on whether or not those pardons are invalid. It may be past the statute of limitations. That's what I worry about.
Or watered down, right? So you think about some of the treasonous acts in regards to Obama and Clinton in 2016. Those actual acts that they did regarding the laptop, regarding the Russia collusion, all those things that they try to do to basically attack the Trump administration and the transfer of power, the fact that those charges now could only be reduced to lying. Some of the Senate hearings in 2020, 2021, some of the times where we know they lied and perjured themselves in regards to those stories, that's the only place that they can get those folks. They can only get them on the perjury charges, but you're not going to be able to get them on the actual treason charges.
And maybe Fauci. Would Fauci's pardon, would it extend to perjury?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe I guess it would.
Keep in mind that's fresher. That those statute of limitations would still be well in effect, 6-7 years on most of those charges. If he knowingly had evidence and information that vaccine was not working, I mean that now you could get murder charges.
Well,
for the people who died, and that there are literally thousands of deaths that have been attributed to the vaccine. If he knew those dangers and chose to continue to promote it and proceed with it, I just think that could be crimes against humanity.
Buy some popcorn, because I think, like J.D. Vance said, there's more of this coming, and it's laughable from the everybody, nobody is above the law crowd to now be wringing their hands, including one James Comey, who called for the book to be thrown at Donald Trump because he knew if it wasn't, that this was coming. So listen to this soundbite. The first part of it is James Comey back when Donald Trump first got indicted, and the second part of it is James Comey this past week.
Convict him, bar him from future service, have the local prosecutors in New York pursue him for the fraudster that he was before he ever became president, lock him up.
Fear is the tool of a tyrant. My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, and I'm innocent.
Goes from an attack dog to I'm the poor victim. Yeah. I'm now the victim. Yeah. Oh, what a
and
he's a piece of work. I think there's mental illness at work there too. I do. I don't think he's all there.
Of what I did get on when I got Wi-Fi at the hotel on vacation, I did get on Twitter a few times, and the memes with the shells arranged on the beach for Comey just cracked me up. No one is above the law was spelled out in seashells.
Have you seen the one with Trump and the seashells that says FAFO?
Oh no, I haven't.
Yeah.
I missed that one. But yeah. And Scott Jennings once again just nailed this one yesterday or sometime over the weekend, talking about those complaining about the charges against Comey. Go to cut 3, please.
For all of you who ever said no one is above the law, or said that institutions of justice are sacred and cannot be questioned, or described Donald Trump as a 34 convicted felon, you know what I say? Choke on it. Just choke on it. Honestly, if you cheered the political prosecutions of Donald Trump on cases that were clearly novel and made up just for him, just for politics, choke on it.
That's about as direct as you can get.
It's true. And, we're lucky this morning we've managed to land, or I should say Tricia did in my absence, Gregg Jarrett from Fox News, one of their legal analysts who's written a number of books over the years on a lot of this. I can't wait to hear what he has to say about the James Comey indictment and the possibility of other indictments that may be coming. And maybe he's got an opinion on the auto pen situation.
Yeah, that would be
I
a
would
great
guess.
question. I'm going to write that down.
So,
Yep.
we'll get to Jarrett this morning at about 7:20. Be sure and stay tuned for that. We got Ryan Schmelz in the 8 o'clock hour talking about the government shutdown and the possibility of it. And Tom Ackerman will be in here. We'll talk about Mizzou and their great running back. And, gosh, they get a week off, and then they face Alabama, baby.
And Bama looked good on Saturday. They looked really good, too. So,
yes, they did.
That's going to be a shootout in Columbia.
That's going to be their first real test,
How do we get tickets to that?
I don't know. It's a good question. Let's ask Ackerman.
There we
He's
go.
a sports guy.
Hey.
All right. Back with Buck. Don't give a you-know-what in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Get ready for the chilly months ahead with Renewal by Anderson's Buy One, Get One 50% off window event. And if that wasn't great enough, those who qualify will enjoy 18 months with no payments and 0 interest. Not sure if now's the right time? Renewal makes it easy with a no-obligation window inspection. Just find out what new windows might cost when you're ready. No pressure, no hassle. And remember, only Renewal by Anderson can offer Fibrex, the proprietary window frame material that's 200% stronger than vinyl. That means durability, efficiency, and beauty that lasts through every season. In addition, Renewal by Anderson products increase a home's value by at least 15%. So what are you waiting for? Call 877-WINDOWS or visit rbastl.com to schedule your free consultation today. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or visit rbastl.com. Renewal by Anderson. Superior products, exceptional service.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Carnival, the cruise company, is expected to report an upbeat summer quarter today. Vail Resorts and Jefferies Financial also report today. Pending home sales for August are released today, and there are more comments from Fed officials today and all week. Kenny Polcari at Slate Stone Wealth says tomorrow is the end of the quarter.
Asset managers are going to try to hold it here because the report cards go out on Tuesday. They want to see the market at an all-time high when they send the report cards out. When October 1st comes and it's a new quarter, then in the start of earnings season, then I think you have to expect the market to pull back.
On Friday, the monthly employment report comes out for September. The job openings report for the last business day of August is tomorrow. And on Wednesday, ADP releases job creation by private employers. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola. Invested in you.
If your cash is sitting in a savings account, it's at risk. Old school advice says save more, but today the strategy is broken. When inflation spikes, they print money or cut rates, your dollar shrinks. So do your savings. The solution? Own something real. Physical gold and silver. When the dollar drops, gold and silver prices rise. And with Noble Gold, owning gold is simple. Just visit noblegoldinvestments.com and chat with a specialist. The knowledge is free. The protection is priceless. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult your financial advisor before making investments.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Well, we've got 44 at 270 reopened. As you know, 44 westbound was shut down there for the weekend while they did some work. And things look fine through there now. So that's some good news. And if you are, 55 at 67 has been reconfigured. And there's a slow go through there this morning. Part of that reconfiguration was them kind of taking They closed down northbound 55 from 67 to McNutt to do a lane shift. They shifted it to a median bypass. So there's a bit of a slow go in the Festus area this morning, especially around Highway A, while drivers kind of figure that out. It's pretty dark out there. And other than those two issues, we are good. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, it's coming up Thursday, and I'm back in town just in time for it. That's the next Retirement Advisory Group's Protecting Your Retirement Educational event. It is this Thursday, October 2nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. So here's the deal. You get this opportunity about maybe 3 times a year, not including this one, to get out there and listen to what they have to say. And that means protecting your nest egg. It's that simple. What do you do in retirement? Maybe you want to take trips like the one I just took. You got to have the money to do that. You don't want your money fluctuating in retirement. So just go listen to what they have to say. It starts at 6:30. It's free. Annie and Mark and I usually get there early, and we just kind of mingle with the crowd, and we talk about the news of the day. And then Thomas Helbig will take over at about 6:30, and you're going to be there for about 45 minutes. No, it's a low-pressure event. He just gives you the information. If you want to work with him, you sign a piece of paper and ask for an appointment, and they'll reach out to you. How about that? So anyway, go to retirementkey.com and let him know you're coming. Bring a friend, or just call him at 314-993-9494.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Flooring. Andrea, that was the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Tile.
Oh, that's right. But we don't need shtick here at Best Buy Flooring.
That's right, because our in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile are already at low, low prices.
Come see us at our 3 area locations, North County, South County, and Metro East. Open 7 days a week.
Plus, free financing on approved credit. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
From Festus to Freeburg, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Buck don't give a f***.
It is Minority Monday on the Buck segment because we always love to feature people of various backgrounds and not just the mainstream media who always wants to show African Americans as 100% all Democratic, or Hispanics who hate Trump, and all the illegal immigrants who are against MAGA. I picked today's Minority Monday champion because of her immigration status, because she is not only boldly MAGA, but this Jamaican legal immigrant who brought her children here the right way, went through the immigration process, but she is passionately for Donald Trump. Somebody wrote on her TikTok page the other day, and I'll give you her TikTok handle here in a minute, said, "How dare you support MAGA as an immigrant and a person of color? You do know he hates both." And she replied back with this comment and this about a minute-long diatribe. She is so well-spoken, so well-educated. You're going to love this lady. Her name is Anna, and she goes by the handle Support for 47. That's her handle on TikTok. Check this soundbite out. Here we go.
What kind of a black woman are you to vote for MAGA? Well, first of all, fix your sentence structure. It's horrible. But since you asked so nicely, I will honor you with a response. I am the kind of black woman who is educated.
She shows her master's degree right there.
Several research on American history. I actually love American history. I'm also well-traveled, having been to 5 out of the 7 continents. I love the Lord, I love my family, and I love America. I am an immigrant, and I care about what this future holds for my children and my grandchildren who are yet to be born. What I do today will affect them tomorrow. So, what kind of black woman am I to vote for MAGA? The kind that wants to make America great again.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. She goes into many things about her immigration process and why it was hard and why she gained such an appreciation for the United States and fully assimilated her family because she so valued going through the history lessons and going through the journey of a 3.5-year legal immigration process. She said, I just gained such a profound respect for this country and what it takes to be an American. And that freedom of voice and freedom of speech is what sent her to TikTok. She does kind of talk slowly, so you got to stay with her. But man, I am telling you, if you want, she only has 23,000 followers right now. She's only been on about a year, but she's catching on. I see her now popping up on my Instagram. I see her popping up on my X feed, so people are sharing her across platforms. The only actual page I could find, though, was on TikTok, her actual homepage, and that is Support for 47. And she also, her handle is at 4547.
Love that.
Or MAGA, at
Love that.
MAGA 4547.
You know,
is her handle.
she reminds me of Evelyn, who came on the show with me and Kim back just before the election. Dan, I got in an Uber one day with my daughter to go down to an event, and my youngest daughter, and we were chatting up this driver who's speaking with a bit of an accent, and I can't really. I'm interested in knowing her story, and she starts talking in such a way that leads me to believe that she is a Trump supporter. So I just asked her, and I ended up having her on the show.
That's great.
Born in Africa, considers it the greatest gift of her life when she was granted a visa to the United States. Moved here because she wanted a better life for her, I think, twin sons. One of them is in medical school here. She came here, achieved the American dream 16, 17 years ago, owns a home in South County, and drives Uber to make extra money. And she was 100% in for Donald Trump. And she, like this lady, has a hard time comprehending why people born here don't realize that they were born with the golden ticket. And instead, too many of them perceive themselves as victims.
Yeah. Well,
they do.
And you also have the whole legal immigration people who really despise the illegals, people who jump the line, people who don't go through the process, and mainly because they know the importance of that vetting process of making sure people who come here want to be here, love this nation, want to embrace what America stands for. That includes the Constitution. That includes all the rights. And this lady here, she's a staunch defender of free speech. And she says the other side's trying to take that from us. And we need to stand tall because that's what makes us more unique than any nation on the planet, is that we have the right to speak up.
The American dream is still alive and real. And so many people in this country don't realize it. I noticed things when I was in Europe. Everybody was interested in where we were from, and they would ask us questions about America. Most of them in Central Europe there, many of them had not traveled here before. One lady had been only to L.A. 3 times because she had a relative that lived there. And I'm like, you haven't seen America. If you've only been to crazy California, you need to come to the middle of the country.
Yeah.
Freedom lives there, right? Most of these people have never experienced freedom. They think they're free, but they've never experienced freedom.
No.
They don't. In many cases in Central Europe, what I saw is people that are born knowing there's a limitation of what they're ever going to achieve. When I was in Budapest, the sales tax on everything that you buy is about 30%. Like
what?
Oh yeah. Plus there's a VAT tax, a value-added tax on things that you buy. The cost of a flat in Budapest and Vienna and these places is just out of reach for most people. Most of them are renters that live in those towns, and there's very little opportunity for upward mobility in what is very much a European socialist democratic society.
Yeah.
Some people beat that, but the vast majority don't.
Yeah.
And they seem to think that they're happy, but they don't know what freedom is. That most of them have never experienced the freedom that we have. From the day you're born in this country, you have almost unlimited opportunity. But my dad was a steel worker. My mom was a teacher. Did either of them ever think I would grow up to be on television, to have my own radio show, to live the American dream and make probably 3 times the amount of money either one of them ever made? No, but they hoped for that. You always hope your child is going to do better than you did. Yeah. And a lot of those people in the part of the country I just traveled to in Europe, I don't think they grow up with that thought in mind. It's just not part of their thinking.
Well, they live in a class society, right, where whatever class you're born into is where your life will be. They don't really let social mobility happen.
It can happen, but it's not the norm.
Very difficult, yes.
It's not the norm.
Right.
I don't think. And you can improve your position. Lots of, you can go to university for free, basically. About fell over. We were in one place we went to visit. It was a monastery, but they had a school there. And my wife inquires to how much the private school education cost the students who went to school at this monastery, right?
Imagine. What was it? Tell me.
$1,000 a year.
That's it?
A year. Because it's subsidized by the state.
Well, I guess public schools here cost you nothing except for,
but it's a private. It's a private, hard to get into exclusive school where they're taught Latin as part of the curriculum, and then they usually learn another language, and it really makes their college a lot easier if they've gone to something like that.
Is admission really hard to get into? Like you have to be among the brightest and smartest?
She claimed not. The student that was leading us through it claimed that wasn't the case. But still, they think that everything doesn't cost very much because they give half of their money to the government, who then feeds back what it wants to them.
Wow.
It's insane. I could go on. In fact, maybe I will mention the other thing I observed when we come back here in just a couple of minutes, because it was, it took every bone in my body to keep me from jumping up and confronting this woman, our guide, when she said this. Because she's grown up in it and she doesn't see anything else in life. But I'll explain it. Great segment, Dan. We'll be back in just a minute.
And I will say this, too. Yeah. You're going to want to hear my freedom of expression story with my freedom shirt. And I got accosted in a Schnook store.
The Charlie Cook shirt?
I have the Charlie Kirk shirt. I was wearing it in a Schnook store and got absolutely eviscerated by a woman.
I can't wait to hear it.
Oh, it'll be good.
All right, when we come back, stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. We look pretty good on the roads this morning. There is one exception, and that is northbound 55. It's really slow in the Festus area around Highway A, Main Street, a little bit to the north. Part of what they had done down there over the weekend was a lane shift to the median, and that ongoing construction. So that's a slow go this morning as drivers try to figure that out. It's pretty dark. And then things look fine into downtown, and we are quiet throughout the rest of the area on the Missouri and Illinois sides. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com. Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property, manage vegetation, and clear land for better views. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
All right, time to remind you that even though it's still 85 degrees outside, the cold is coming, and you need to take advantage of it. At Air Comfort Service right now, they have got some fantastic opportunities for you to get that new air conditioner or furnace just in time, maybe a whole new system, right? Just in time for the cold weather to get here. Be sure you're getting it checked as well. I'm going to give you a phone number you need to put in your phone because something will happen, and then you'll need help, and you'll be on social media saying, does anybody have a HVAC person? Well, Mark does, and it's Air Comfort Service. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. They've got Carrier Cool Cash rebates right now that you need to talk to them about. They've got 0% financing, and I'm on their maintenance plan. So they've already come out and checked my furnace and air conditioner heading into fall, so I know it's in great shape for the winter. They'll come out again in the spring, and they'll check it to make sure I'm in great shape for the summer, and that's fantastic. And if I have problems, I get priority scheduling because of that, and I get discounts on any labor or parts that I might need. So write this number down because they're going to keep you in your comfort zone. 314-513-0091 or online anytime at aircomfortservice.com.
From border security to school choice, the Constitution to the culture war. Made in America. Heard in the Midwest. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
If you're feeding a person a crap sandwich with a smile, it's still a crap sandwich.
Boy. We just got back from Central Europe. If you're just joining the show this morning, it's great to be back. Mark here along with Dan Buck and Ethan Bright and Sue Thomas. Good to be back in the chair after a few days off. And I've traveled through Central Europe basically on a tour bus, right, with about 18 of my closest friends. 10 of us had traveled with me last year to Italy, so they are good friends, and it was great to make new friends. We had a great time. But I made some observations while I was there, and I noticed this poster that I would see everywhere, and it would show the average salary of like a construction worker at 24 or 25,000 euros or whatever the local thing was, and then it would show like a nurse at 30,000 or whatever their currency was, and then it showed a doctor in a lab coat, 235,000. It was put up by the unions to talk about income inequality over there. And I'm like, so the guy that's working construction went to school for 12 years to get a medical degree, did he? No, did I miss something?
I don't think
no,
he did.
But that's the thought process in Europe, in these European socialist democracies. They don't like large income gaps. They don't like the fact that somebody succeeded and got paid more. Now, in U.S. dollars, if that surgeon came over here, he'd be making $600,000 or $700,000 a year, but his income is limited because of where he chose to work. So we're on a tour. We're in Budapest. We've got a local guide named Melinda. And Melinda, we drive past this medical university. She goes, this is our medical university. It's a great university. We turn out great doctors, but unfortunately, they move to Germany or they move to America and they don't stay here, and it's hurting us. And I'm thinking to myself, I know you grew up. What I wanted to do was stand up and wave my hand and say, do you understand why? Mm-hmm. Because the cream of the crop always rises to the top. The cream always rises to the top. And if you want to pay that guy the same amount you're paying the laborer who's digging ditches, they're going to leave and go somewhere else and look for more money. And that's what most people that grew up in that environment just don't grasp. And it was pretty eye-opening to listen to. You're complaining about the fact that there are 6-month waits for procedures in your clinics and your hospitals because you don't have enough doctors. They have the same problem in everywhere there's socialized medicine. Everywhere they've socialized medicine, that's the problem you have. The good doctors go somewhere else, and it takes you 6 months or a year to get your cancer surgery. Meanwhile, the cancer is growing in your body. It's a failed system everywhere it's ever been tried. So it's my soapbox.
Well, it reminds me of a story when I was working at a particular health system at one point. We were in this room full of all the presidents of the health system in the room, and the head of the organization says, "Why are we paying this doctor? I just saw that you signed this doctor up for $700,000 a year." And he's scolding this president. And the president said, the guy was actually a cardiothoracic surgeon in pediatrics. So he's working on infants and newborns and NICU babies, right? And she said, when was the last time you were in the chest of a baby the size of a doll and working on a heart the size of a walnut and separating the left ventricle from the right ventricle? When was the last time you did that, Bill? I mean, and I just gave away the guy's name. And he was like, well, don't give me that. But the point is that here's a man making $2 million a year as an executive trying to say what a doctor, what a surgeon should make, and that we were overpaying. And this man was a miracle worker.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a miracle worker, a talent that so few people in this world have. And they want to minimize his pay, saying he shouldn't make that much. What should he make? The amount of a floor nurse, the amount of a janitor. I mean, socialize anything doesn't work. You want to motivate expertise. You want to motivate people to be the best they can be so they can make a lot of money. But they're going to save thousands of babies
at the end of the day. It's what DEI is all about. It's about that's what it's about. People mad that whatever they did in life up to that point didn't get them to where they want to be. They see what somebody else is making and they think, I want equity with that, even if they didn't earn it or deserve it. So DEI stands for didn't earn it is what it stands for. And it's trying to be forced down the system in America where we've seen it fail everywhere it's been tried in the world. I'll say it again, and you may get tired of hearing me say it. The guy driving my airplane and the guy operating on my chest one of these days, if I have to have heart surgery, I want them to have graduated at the top of their class, and I want them to make more money than anybody else in the room because I want the best person doing that. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what gender they are. I don't care. I want the best person doing that job. And if that means they get paid $800,000 a year, so be it. Exactly. They've earned every dime of it. I don't want the person who graduated last in their class and got in because the color of their skin or their gender operating on me. I don't.
No, and they have skills that very few human beings have. You have to reward people who develop those skills and make it where I don't care if they make $3 million a year, $5 million. Yeah. It's kind of like the athlete, right? These athletes dedicate their life to a particular skill and become the best in the world at it. I have no problem if the market bears it and people will pay if people will pay for it to get the absolute best entertainment, whether it be a movie star, an athlete, a surgeon. If they're the best there is, people will pay for it.
Well said, Dan Buck. Well said. All right, so we kind of burned up that segment with my rant about socialized medicine in Europe. But Dan's got a fantastic story about a confrontation that happened to him the other day just because he chose to wear a T-shirt with the word freedom on it. Didn't say anything about Charlie Kirk or anything. It just said freedom, and he got attacked personally in a store. And I'm going to let him tell that story right after the top of the break. How about that? We'll get back here right after the top of the hour at 6. We got Hans von Spakovsky for you at about 6:20. We'll be back in just a minute.
A powerful threat calls for a greater response.
When there's a battle, bring strength.
When there's a problem, seek answers.
When there is doubt, give hope.
Not tomorrow.
Not in a few years.
But right now.
Some battles must be faced together. Cancer fighters stand up to cancer every day. And you can be part of this battle too.
Visit standuptocancer.org/American Airlines to learn more.
Together, we can save lives.
One of the biggest gifts you can give your family is peace of mind. That's why I trust and recommend Civia Law. They've helped so many families, including mine, right here in our community with estate planning, wills, trusts, powers of attorney, and elder law issues. I've seen how stressful it can be when a loved one passes without a plan. Families are left confused, sometimes tied up in probate court, and it can cost so much in time and money. But with Civia Law, you don't have to worry about that. They'll walk you through everything and even deliver your completed documents in just 2 weeks from your first appointment. And here's something special just for you. Mention the Annie Fry Show, and the first 10 listeners right now will get a free strategy session. That's a $300 value. 833-995-WILL. Just be sure to mention the Annie Fry Show when you call. Civia Law has 7 convenient locations across Illinois and Missouri, including in Edwardsville, Swansea, and Creve Coeur. Secure your legacy and protect the people you love. Call 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL. Or visit CiviaLaw.com.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
St. Louis. This is Carl Tucker from North St. Louis. A few years ago, my son was involved in a neighborhood conflict that ended in gun violence. We reached out to the Urban League Gun Violence and De-Escalation Network, and they stepped in immediately. They contacted the other side and helped de-escalate the situation before it could get out of control. Call the Urban League Gun Violence De-Escalation Team today at 314-250-5900. Your call could save a life.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
There are still people unaccounted for. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The day after an attack at a church in Michigan.
10:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, there were hundreds of people gathered here for services at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan, when the shooter rammed his pickup truck through the front door and started shooting at worshipers with an assault rifle.
He also set the church on fire, leaving it in charred ruins this morning. Fox's Brooke Taylor's there.
4 victims here that have died. 8 people are in the hospital who were also shot, and officials believe that death toll could rise as officials are going through piles of debris at this burned down church and believe that there could be more people here.
The attacker was killed by police in a shootout. The suspected gunman in another weekend shooting is due in court this morning. Nigel Edge, accused of driving a boat up to a waterfront restaurant bar in Southport, North Carolina, Saturday night, killing 3 people, wounding 5. The accused Charlie Kirk assassin, Tyler Robinson, will appear in court via video today.
In today's hearing, Robinson and his newly appointed attorney, Catherine Nestor, will make a decision whether they want a preliminary hearing, where the judge will decide if there's enough evidence to take this case to trial.
Fox's Matt Finn outside the court in Provo, Utah. A big meeting today at the White House, pushing a U.S. plan for a ceasefire in Gaza. Israel's prime minister will be there.
We want to thank President Trump for his involvement.
That's Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, telling Fox.
This war will end with the hostages back home and Hamas out of Gaza.
After the Netanyahu meeting, the president will sit down with congressional leaders with a potential government shutdown looming Wednesday if there's no budget deal.
It depends on the Republicans. You know, the meeting is a first step, but only a first step. We need a serious negotiation.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer tells NBC's Meet the Press Democrats are trying to prevent cuts in health care coverage. In New York City, Mayor Eric Adams has ended his re-election campaign. He was 4th in the race, far behind the frontrunner socialist Zoran Mondani. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 6:03 and 63 degrees in St. Louis. City homicide detectives are investigating a shooting in North St. Louis after one of the victims died at the hospital following a shootout. Officers responded to the 5300 block of Ruskin Avenue in the Mark Twain neighborhood about 2:30 in the morning. A 23-year-old man died in the shootout, 2 other men hospitalized in critical condition. 3 people were killed and several others were injured Sunday afternoon in a crash involving multiple vehicles, including a tractor-trailer down in Jefferson County. Both lanes of I-55 were closed for more than 4 hours. Police have not yet released details on what led to that multi-vehicle fatality. Missouri's new congressional map became law as Governor Mike Keogh signed it during a private event in Jeff City on Sunday. The map specifically expands the 5th congressional district in Kansas City, currently held by Democratic Representative Emanuel Cleaver, but by incorporating the suburbs and more rural areas, it becomes heavily Republican. One of the Cardinals' most beloved and well-known fans has died. Marty Prather, known as the Sign Man for his large, witty posters that he displayed for more than 5 decades at both Cardinal games and Missouri State games, passed away over the weekend due to a respiratory illness. Prather was just 67. In weekend sports, the Chiefs won in big fashion on Sunday. They hammered the Ravens 37-20. And the wild card table is now set for MLB's playoffs. In the American League, it'll be the Tigers taking on the Guardians. The Red Sox face the Yankees. The National League has the Reds and Dodgers and the Padres taking on the Cubs in those wild card matchups. In golf, Europe edged the U.S. 15-13 in that highly heated Ryder Cup, which was played in Farmingdale, New York. It is 6:05, 63 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, good morning to you. We've got some volume out there on northbound 55, and it's mainly in the Festus area, so if you are headed for Highway A, but it's also slow approaching 67. And this is all due, we had closures over the weekend and lane shifts, and it's just been a little bit confusing this morning. So expect a delay on either side of 67. And then things open up and look fine into downtown. And other than that, we're pretty quiet. And that's on the Missouri and Illinois sides both. So other than that, we are in good shape. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Furnace funky?
Then make one call.
And Jerry Kelly will be there the very next day.
Call anytime, 8 to 8, 8 days a week.
And Jerry Kelly will fix your furnace or install a new one the very next day.
JerryKelly.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Temperatures are warm, but the humidity is also low. Lots of sunshine on this Monday. Let's warm it up to about 88 degrees this afternoon. Tonight, clear skies. Beautiful evening as temperatures drop quickly with the dry air. 64 for the low. Tuesday, sunny. Back to 88 degrees. 63 on Tuesday night. Wednesday, plenty of sunshine. 86. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Nice, cool 64 degrees at 6:06. You can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you anytime, anywhere. All you have to do is download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, happy Monday morning. I am Marc Cox. It is the Marc Cox Morning Show. I am back from my extended vacation there to Europe last week and a half, and it was fabulous, Dan Buck. I just have to tell you.
Well, you look refreshed. You look like a young man, like you.
See my Pilsner Urquell shirt
yeah,
I bought here.
Gotcha. Did you drink a few
at the brewery?
Have a few cervezas while you were there?
I did. Yeah, they don't call it that over there.
No, what do they call it?
We went to Plzeň, Czechoslovakia, which is where they brew Pilsner Urquell beer, and it was the original Pilsner there, right? I mean, it's been copied many times. I had Budvar, which is the original Budweiser. They sued AB over that, I guess, over the name years ago. But yeah, there was lots of great Czech beer and German beer, and even down in Hungary, we got some fantastic local brew.
Some people have told me they serve it warm, though, not as cold as we serve it here. Totally cold.
Not in Central Europe. That may be true in, I don't know, London or
London does.
Somewhere, but no, it's nice and chilled.
Good. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed some of that. Thanks for bringing some back, too.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. I did get an opener. You gave me an opener. Thank you.
From Prague. My
awesome.
wife bought so much stuff for the grandkids. I was limited on what other gifts I could buy. But
so you wouldn't go over the weight?
Something small, so the luggage would make it back. Traveled with a bunch of great people through Guidester Travel, and my friend Jack Bowman, who's the travel director. He's the owner of it, and he traveled with us, and it was just a fantastic trip. So if you're looking for that or just somebody to help you plan your next trip, Jack's a great guy to do that. And I'll just give a little sneak preview here. In January, we're going to be talking about a trip for next year to Switzerland. So you'll start hearing a lot more about that in January, and that'll be next late September. We're going to be traveling to Switzerland. We're looking forward to that.
I think we take the whole show on the road.
Wouldn't that be great?
Broadcast live from Switzerland.
I tell you, the hours are a lot better because you guys were 7 hours behind here, right? So
I could sleep in.
I know,
right?
You can do the show in the middle of the afternoon.
Perfect. With
the Marc Cox morning show in the afternoon.
Cold beers right next to us. What brewery are we going to be at tomorrow?
Oh, that'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? Anyway, glad to be back, and thanks to Ryan Recker and Dan and Ethan and Scott Jagow and everybody for filling in while we had some well-deserved R&R. It was great.
We did our best to hold down the fort.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. We're going to get to Hans von Spakovsky coming up in a minute, but right now, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist.
When I questioned Attorney General Bondi during her confirmation hearing, she assured me that politics would not play a role, that they would make independent decisions. That is not what this is. This is a vengeance prosecution. It is not about the law.
Oh, but Amy Klobuchar, nobody's above the law. I would have sworn I heard you and every other Democrat in America say that when Donald Trump was persecuted by your party and Merrick Garland and everybody else in from Georgia to New York.
There's still time for an agreement to be reached. I'm glad that President Trump is showing leadership in meeting with all leaders, Republican and Democrat, Monday in the White House. But ultimately, those Democrats have to make a decision.
Steve Scalise says, hey, ball's in their court. We're not going back to the days of giving free health care to perfectly capable adult human beings who want to lay at home and do nothing. We're not going to do that, but we will give you a short-term spending measure till November. It's in your court.
So everybody's sitting around saying, my God, I can't believe Trump's doing this. You had to know Trump was going to be like this. Number one, because he's Donald Trump, but also number two, because of everything that they put him through.
Wow.
Amen.
Charlemagne the God seems to recognize things that the rest of his fellow Democrats do not. Even though I don't think these are targeted, I think they're long overdue charges against James Comey, and maybe Adam Schiff, I hope, will be next.
We must fight fire with fire. So CBC, let's get to work.
How about that? Kamala Harris coming back out, speaking to the Congressional Black Caucus this weekend.
Got her ghetto on there, too.
And
yeah,
says...
Did you notice how her...
I did.
Unbelievable. When she gets in front of black people, suddenly this accent comes on.
But the rhetoric. To stand up and talk about fighting fire with fire after some of her, fellow Democrat killed Charlie Kirk less than 2 weeks ago. I mean, they just refuse to accept any responsibility for the rhetoric and for inciting people to violence. And I played that bite last because, Dan, I want you to tell people what happened to you in a very public place just because you were wearing your Charlie Kirk shirt.
It was amazing. I wore a Freedom shirt, similar, exactly like Charlie wore the day he was shot, and I wore it to pickleball in the morning. No problems there. There was 30-plus players. A couple people commented, thanked me for wearing it. Other people just ignored it, which was fine. I don't expect people. I'm wearing it because I'm honoring Charlie and let people know that I'm tired of being silent. I'm not going to hide it anymore. Charlie obviously didn't, and I think one of the things we need to do is stay bold and just you can do it very subliminally with a simple shirt that says freedom on it. Well, I'm in the checkout. I actually saw the gal over in another department and she stared me down, followed me for a little bit, and then I thought it was over with. Well, I'm at the self-checkout. I'm checking out my stuff, and she walks up and gets about 9 inches from my face and says, "Your shirt is so offensive, and I can't believe you would wear such a thing in public." And then she's so close to me, and I just kind of looked away from her and kept checking my items out, and I said, "Ma'am, if my shirt is that offensive to you, simply because of what I'm wearing, you've got much deeper problems than my shirt."
Thank you.
And she said, "Don't get smart with me." And then the diatribe of name calling, that I am a racist, I'm a homophobe, I'm a transphobe, I'm a, and this is a woman who has, completely head shaved on one side with this big flop of hair and a couple colored streaks going through it on the right. And I'm telling you, I looked at her eyes. I mean, it was like Satan was in my face. It was cray-cray. I mean, cray-cray. Telling me she was going to wait for me outside. And
wait a minute,
I'll
Dan Buck, how tall are you? 6'3"?
6'3",
6'3", 6'4", 2 and a quarter?
215, yeah.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I made you heavier than Donald Trump.
Right.
I'm sorry.
But I didn't dignify it. I just said, "Ma'am, please, just go, move along." And she literally was waiting by the door for me.
These people are insane.
Yeah, she was waiting for me when I got all my bags. I'm walking out. And I said, "Ma'am, I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to just leave ahead of me, and this is over, or I'm calling 911. You are completely out of bounds here over a T-shirt, seriously." And she gave me a couple choice curse words and then walked ahead of me and left. And the manager had witnessed all this because the self-checkout's right by the management office, and she had left the management office to make sure it didn't escalate. And she walked up to me. She said, "You handled that just like Charlie would have handled it." She said, you were so calm, and thank you for holding your cool, because I don't think a lot of people would have allowed that screaming in your face. And I did. I actually said to myself, when she's yelling at me, I'm like, what would Charlie do here? Right? He'd stay calm. He would not back down. I didn't back down. I told her, "I'm not taking the shirt. I don't know what you expect me to do. The shirt's staying on, so you need to just move along." And I said, "We can agree to disagree." And
at the grocery store.
No, we can't. Yeah, at a Schnucks.
Wow.
And I'm just like, if they're going to be that bold to accost somebody with a shirt on. Yeah, but we need to make sure that we're not backing down to that kind of intimidation.
No,
right?
Not at all.
Right.
I've ordered my Charlie Kirk shirt the day I left on my vacation, and it's still not here, and I'm a little irritated.
I waited almost a full 2 weeks.
I'm guessing the demand is so high they're having trouble keeping up with it.
Yeah.
But I'll wear it as soon as I get it, for sure.
That's right.
Just hoping for something like that, to be honest. All right, Dan. Great story. Thank you for sharing that. All right, coming up, we'll get to Hans von Spakovsky on this Monday morning. I can't wait to get his take on the James Comey indictment and what others he thinks might be coming down the pike. We'll be right back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. We look okay on the roads, except northbound 55. Little bit of volume here, a slowdown on either side of 67. We had a lane shift. We've got that ongoing road work. There were closures over the weekend. So take care through there. Once you get north of essentially Main Street, things will look better and open up all the way into downtown. And other than that, we are pretty quiet, and that's 70, 64, 40, and quiet on the Illinois side in general, at least at this hour. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror, Glass, and Door. Simply the finest when it comes to mirror, glass, and shower doors. You can't find better quality, prices, or service than at Barron Mirror, Glass, and Door. They have the basics all the way up to the elite. Barron Mirror, Glass, and Door can't be beat. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, let's talk Zero Res because they're ready to take care of you. Zero Res is just fantastic, number one. If you've got people in and out of your house, right, because pretty soon Halloween is coming up. It's almost October. Can you believe that? It's almost October. Wednesday is October 1st, and here is the cleaning special you can get in October with Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. That's a $40 savings and 15% off any duct or dryer vent cleaning. They'll even Zero Resify your dryer vent. And that thing can build up and it can be dangerous. I think it's one of the top causes of fires in homes. Talk to my friends at Zero Res. Get everything cleaned up before Halloween. Get ready for fall, putting those decorations out. Let Zero Res come in and take care of it. The great thing about it is they can do basically every surface in your home. Carpets, of course, but tiles and rugs and upholstery and your vents. It's great. Take advantage of this. Call them at 314-474-2020. That's 314-474-2020. Ask for the 97.1 FM Talk special. Tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it. Go to ZeroResSTL.com.
The smartest way to do your homework is Hackman Lumber.
Warm weather means homework for homeowners. And for 80 years, Hackman Lumber has been the trusted name for home improvement. If your homework means a new deck, turn to the deck experts at Hackman Lumber. Browse the largest inventory of decking materials and accessories in Missouri. Talk with our experts about treated lumber, cedar, TimberTech, Trex, Envision, Decorators, and Duralife to find the perfect deck for you. Choose from endless railings, balusters, and LED deck lighting options. Hackman Lumber has been serving homeowners and pros for 80 years, and they will not be undersold on in-stock decking materials guaranteed. Whether you DIY with their expert advice or need a trusted contractor, Hackman has you covered. They are now an authorized steel dealer and stock a huge selection of grills. So celebrate summer with the new Big Green Egg, pellet grills, Weber gas, or charcoal grill, and all the accessories you need for the perfect backyard setup. Visit Hackman Lumber's showrooms in St. Charles, Pacific, and Troy, Missouri, or HackmanSTL.com.
Marc Cox here. Join me, Mark Reardon, and Annie Fry, along with Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group for the last Protecting Your Retirement educational event of the year. It's Thursday, October 2nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering if your 401k and IRA will last through your lifetime? Do you have your own personalized structured income plan set up? The markets are hitting all-time highs. Would you like to learn how to automatically lock in your gains without having to sell? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss the last event of the year.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, at the Frontenac Hilton, Thursday, October 2nd at 6:30. Go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Unapologetically right. Marc Cox on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Convict him, bar him from future service, have the prosecutors, the local prosecutors in New York, pursue him for the fraudster that he was before he ever became president, lock him up.
Fear is the tool of a tyrant. My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, and I'm innocent.
Hans von Spakovsky, the former emperor of the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Hans, that was James Comey before and after. Before, when Donald Trump got indicted, he was all for it. He wanted him locked up, and now all of a sudden he wants everybody to know this is a misjustice. How you doing, my friend?
Well, yeah, but he's being charged with, Comey is, with basically lying to Congress and obstructing a congressional investigation. And this indictment was filed on the very almost on the last day it could before the 5-year statute of limitations ran. But remember, one of the key counts here is that he was asked by Ted Cruz, do you stand by your prior testimony where you said you did not authorize any leaks to the media about the FBI's investigation of the 2016 Trump and Hillary Clinton campaigns? And he said, yeah, I didn't do that. But we've got an Inspector General report for the Department of Justice. They uncovered evidence that he did do that. So, that's pretty stark evidence that he lied. Now, on the other hand, people should keep in mind this is a tough statute under which to get somebody, because you've got to prove that they knowingly and willfully made a false statement. They knew it was false at the time, and they intended to deceive. It's a pretty high standard to meet, and they're going to need skilled prosecutors in the trial to convict him.
I'm wondering too, Hans, when you look at all of the 2016 Russia, the laptop collusion, the lying with the federal workers, are those charges of sabotaging the Trump administration and all of that, has that statute of limitations run out, or is there still a potential case against the Clintons, against the Obamas, against that whole regime, not just the DOJ members?
I don't know. Some of those charges might still be brought, and keep in mind, look, this was a very short indictment. It's only 3 counts. It's only 4 pages. But sometimes what the Justice Department will do is they will file what's called a superseding indictment. So in other words, it's still in the same case, but they'll basically file a second document that sometimes will add even more charges. So they've kind of made sure they're within the statute of limitations. They could file more charges against him. What I find particularly ironic about this is that the statute under which Comey has been indicted, lying, that's the same statute he used when he was in the Justice Department before he got to the FBI against Martha Stewart. And he used to brag. He used to brag about, because I heard him literally brag about getting Martha Stewart under that statute at an internal meeting at the Justice Department, because I was at DOJ the same time he was.
That's amazing. Hans von Spakovsky, our guest from the Heritage Foundation this morning. Hans, I saw where the mayor of Portland is trying to sue the Trump administration for sending National Guard troops up there to protect ICE. Am I wrong, or is that not perfectly within his rights to do that?
It's perfectly within his rights to do that. We already had courts saying that he was perfectly within his rights to do that in California, because the statute that governs the National Guard says that the president can mobilize troops, including the National Guard, when regular law enforcement officers of the federal government are unable to enforce the law, and that's clearly the case there. When ICE agents are being attacked, obstructed from enforcement, that fits well within the statute. We've already had the court say it's a frivolous lawsuit, just as frivolous as the similar lawsuit filed by the Attorney General of the District of Columbia. He filed a similar one. It's frivolous.
Yeah. And of course, we've had ICE agents fired on, and we know the risk they're at in some of these cases. Right. The fact that you wouldn't want federal troops there to defend them, I don't understand that. But Portland is a 30 square miles surrounded by reality anyway.
Yeah, no, that's true. Listen, all these local and state officials trying to obstruct ICE enforcement and who are unconcerned about the dangers of ICE. You know who they remind me of?
Who's that?
Southern officers, Southern office holders before the Civil War who were defying the federal government.
You know, Hans, I know that your friend Jim Carafano created this open for us where he calls you the leader of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. I just got back from Central Europe. I was in Prague and Vienna and Budapest. So the Habsburgs send their best.
Oh, well, those are three of the most beautiful cities, too, to visit in Europe.
Yeah, we had a fantastic time. Thank you, my friend, as always. Have a great week.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Thanks,
right.
Hans.
Yep, see you later. Yeah,
he's great. He is great, and Jim Carafano said that about him a long time ago. And we used it to create his open, and he's got a great sense of humor about it. And speaking of legal folks, we got Gregg Jarrett coming on from Fox News, the legal correspondent there, and we'll have a lot of questions for him as it relates to some of these indictments.
Yeah, and he's written so many great books about how Trump was wrongly persecuted. It'll be interesting to get to that. It's all coming up. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If you're looking for the best eye care in St. Louis, look no further than the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer. Make your appointment today at yourEyeDoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 6:30 and 63 degrees. A fatal crash occurred early this morning in North St. Louis. One passenger is dead, another seriously injured. The one-car crash occurred about 5 a.m. near the 100 block of East Cary in the North Riverfront neighborhood. 3 people were killed, several others injured Sunday afternoon in a multi-vehicle crash, including a tractor-trailer down in Jefferson County. Both lanes of I-55 were closed for more than 4 hours. Police have not yet released details on what led to that multi-vehicle fatality. It's now official. The new congressional map that expands the 5th District was signed into law by Governor Keogh on Sunday. The legal challenges are already teed up. In sports, the Chiefs look like the Chiefs of old. They smashed the Ravens 37-20, and the hunt for October begins tomorrow in MLB with the Wild Card Series getting underway in L.A., Chicago, New York, and Cleveland. That's your headlines. It is 6:31, 63 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. Hope you are doing well. We've got a little bit of volume out there this morning. Northbound 55, it's pretty slow on either side of Highway 67. Of course, that is in the construction zone. We had a lot of closures and a lane shift or two there this weekend. That's causing a delay. And then northbound 55 slowing again at Bayless, headed into that construction zone. But that one we should be used to. Now, eastbound 70 looks good, 6440 in good shape. Moderate volume, though, on northbound 270 approaching 64. And there was a little bit of volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. Nothing terrible, just a little bit. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
My friends at Rhino Shield have been busy, and boy, there's still plenty of time, even though we're almost to the 1st of October, to get Rhino Shield on your house. I think that is, you've had this on your honey-do list. It's time to make the phone call and come out and get your free evaluation from my friend Darren, because it's just such a great product, because it lasts for so long. I mean, I'm so glad I made that decision all those years ago, 17 and a half years on my house before I sold it. The 25-year warranty was transferable to the new owner. It's great. My friend Darren just sent me this the other day at the Me Development Company down in Valley Park, where they finally upgraded the look of the outside of that building. And honestly, it looks like a new building. It looks like they just rebuilt the building, but it's beautiful because of the transition of having Rhino Shield put on there. And now the great owner down there does not have to worry about outdoor maintenance. And neither will you as a homeowner. Church, condos, you name it, and Rhino Shield goes on. It gives you 100% waterproof protection, and it's fantastic. It's going to take 4 to 5 weeks from the time you schedule your paint job, and then they will get out there. They'll get Rhino Shield put on. The crews are great. There's still time, or you can lock in your discount now and have it done in the spring. Call them today at 877-25-RHINO, or go online. Tell them Marc Cox sent you, 877-25rhino.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. And you know, your home is your sanctuary. You need to take the first step to peace of mind with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from the #1 Generac generator dealer in the country, Generator Supercenter. We learned the hard way here in St. Louis during the tornado recently that power can be knocked out. But even outside of that, what if the power grid fails and it's 100 degrees here in St. Louis? You don't want to be that person. Get with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis today. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com. Tell them that we sent you along.
The amazing Nissan Now sales event is on at St. Charles Nissan. Thank you for making us the #1 Nissan dealer in Missouri for 2024. This month, take $10,000 off MSRP or get 0% APR for 72 months on a new 2024 Murano. Or take $7,000 off MSRP or get 0% APR for 60 months on a new 2024 Rogue. Hurry in. These amazing offers end February 28th. Visit us online at stcharlesnissan.com. Call 636-244-8448 for details.
Born in the Midwest, built on common sense. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
I think music has been underappreciated. You know, I always joke, sports, it's like a badge of honor to spend $70,000 for a Knicks courtside. They beat me up if we charge $800 for Beyonce, right? So it's a real. We have a lot of runway left, right? So when you read about the ticket prices going up, it's still average concert price is $72. Try going to a Laker game for that, and there's 80 of them or whatever the hell. So the concert is underpriced.
Did you feel like that the last concert you went to?
Never.
That's the CEO of Live Nation and Ticketmaster.
He thinks there's still room for growth.
Oh, huge room. He's comparing the front row of a concert you want to go see to Lakeside courtside at the Lakers game.
Yeah.
Which people might pay $70,000 for, apparently, to sit there. So he thinks that the sky's the limit when it comes to ticket prices. I mean, I got face value tickets to that Sammy Hagar concert 2 years ago at Hollywood,
right,
where he was doing the Best of Both Worlds tour. $185 a seat to be in nearly the back row of the lower bowl. $100. By the time the concert started, I probably could have sold them for triple what I paid for them, but I didn't because I wanted to see the concert.
Do you think
So I think they're jealous about the secondary
That's
market.
Exactly.
That's
what I was
it.
just going to say. Do you think they see all this secondary revenue being generated by the initial ticket buyers going, well, that should be coming to us. That should be us.
But if that happens,
It just
they're
moves
going to
that
price
market.
regular people out of the market. So if that seat had been $400 or $500, I wouldn't have paid for it, and that would have been the asking price, and then it would have gone on secondary again for what, $1,000? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
They're going to price people out of the concert scene if they keep this up. Everybody's going to want lawn seats, and then those are going to be 10 times the cost they are now.
Yeah, it's going to get. It's already out of hand. It's already way too expensive. I mean, if you just look at the tour of Kelsey's girlfriend, what's her name?
Taylor Swift.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
What's her name?
Yeah,
She's up and coming.
Yeah, but Taylor's concerts are getting to the point where they're outpricing, totally outpricing their.
But again, is it the secondary market? I know her prices were pretty extreme when they first went on sale, but the problem is there's all these bots that buy them, so they're instantly on the secondary market.
I think in a stadium with 50,000 people, getting $300 to $400 face value before it goes to the secondary is way too much money.
And all the fees they tie up.
But
on
you
top
know
of
you
it.
know who'd pay it to see Taylor Swift? Nicole would.
Nicole would
hit it. All right, we got Nicole Murray on the phone this morning. Sorry, we're having a little technical difficulty there. Nicole, how are you?
I'm good, and you're back.
Thank you. Nice 10-day vacation. I got to go to Central Europe and drink a bunch of great European beer, and it was fantastic. Thank you.
And how about the question? Would you have a limit on concert pricing? What's your max amount you'd ever pay to see somebody?
I am cheap with that stuff. I don't know if I would go above like 200. Like, I'm not someone who would shell out the $1,000 to see Taylor Swift or Beyonce.
Oh,
or
okay.
anything.
All right.
Big fans of them, but no.
I'm so with you. Absolutely. I'm like, I'll just watch it on YouTube sometime.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard the bite we ran, but the guy said that he thinks the music tickets are undervalued right now, underpriced, and they need to go higher.
Live Nation, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about disconnected from reality.
Get ready. It's coming. Nicole, what's going on out there today?
All right. Futures are moderately higher Friday. The Dow Industrials gained 299, the NASDAQ up 99, the S&P 500 up 38. And amusement parks around the country are being permanently shuttered. A spokesperson for Six Flags St. Louis said there are no plans to close the amusement park here. The statement comes after worries from local residents and city leaders that the amusement park may be closed by Six Flags Entertainment Corporation, which operates 42 amusement parks and water parks in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. Two major TV station owners, that's Sinclair Broadcasting and Nexstar Media Group, have announced they are returning Jimmy Kimmel Live to their ABC stations, ending the preemption of the late-night show over remarks Kimmel had made following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Sinclair owns 38 ABC stations across the U.S., and Nexstar owns 33. Democratic and Republican congressional leaders are heading to the White House for a meeting with President Trump today in a last-ditch effort to avoid a government shutdown. The government will partially shut down on Wednesday at 12:01 a.m. if Congress cannot pass a short-term spending bill. Roughly 58 million pounds of Tyson Foods corn dogs and other sausage-on-a-stick products are being recalled across the U.S. because pieces of wood may be embedded in the batter, with several consumers reporting injuries to date. The recall covers select State Fair corn dogs on a stick and Jimmy Dean pancakes and sausage-on-a-stick products. One Battle After Another, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, collected just over $22 million at the box office during its debut this weekend. The film added another $26 million internationally. And finally, today is National Coffee Day. Here are some steals and deals. Get a free medium coffee and one free donut at Krispy Kreme, no purchase necessary. At Starbucks, get 100 bonus stars with any coffee order. And at Dunkin', get a free medium hot or iced coffee when you make a purchase on the app.
Wow. My daughter will be in good shape because she goes to one of those three places every day. Maybe she'll get a free. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if it's every day. She's probably listening to me on her way to school this morning. But she loves Starbucks and she loves Dunkin'. If she can get by there, she would probably try to take advantage of that.
And the special is only on their app, right?
For Dunkin', yes, only on their application. And it sounds like you have to purchase something else to get the deal. But, I mean, free coffee is free coffee.
National Coffee Day. That's good. It's a good thing. It fuels us around here.
I'll get to go out and celebrate at a Black Rifle.
Oh, yeah. Amen. Yeah,
Amen.
That's good stuff.
Yep.
Nicole, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Nicole Murray there with us this morning on the phone because we were having some technical difficulties. Did that just arise today, Ethan, or was it last week too?
It's been going on for a week.
Wow.
Just since you left. See,
everything we
falls
had it
apart.
fixed, and then
everything
it got
falls,
switched again, and then
everything falls apart when Mark leaves town. Yeah.
Speaking of coffee, they have some great coffee in Europe. Can I just mention that?
I bet.
It's good. Every hotel there provides breakfast. Every hotel we stayed at, there was a breakfast every morning. So, it's a buffet kind of thing. But they have those little coffee makers where you can get an espresso or a cafe Americano if you want, if you prefer that, or a latte. You just throw your cup up there and hit the button.
Oh,
and
nice.
It grinds the beans right on top of it. They take that stuff to a whole new level. And there was a New York coffee house, a New York cafe that had just opened in Budapest, not far from our hotel. And this thing had a line outside at 6 a.m. It had a line outside at 10 o'clock at night. We were coming back from a dinner cruise, and there were people lined up to get in this place. It was like the most sought-after place in Budapest the other night. I don't know why.
I have a friend who did a European trip kind of like you and did one of those, saw those machines that they steam press. Apparently there's a certain brewing technique that's going on inside those machines.
Yeah.
And he said it was so good he had to buy one. He spent like $1,000 to put one in his house. Yeah, to put it in his house. And I'm like, it cannot be that good. So I went by his house and had one. Oh, my God.
It's worth it.
It was the best coffee cup.
I don't know why it hasn't made its way to America.
Well, yeah, because he had to order it from Europe. It took him like two months to get it shipped here. And it's a commercial machine. I go, dude, this thing is like, it took up half his counter space,
Sure.
But he was like, yeah, my wife doesn't like how big it is, but it does make an amazing cup of coffee.
If you are a coffee addict like many of us, then it might be worth it.
And it's something to do with like the steam and the pressure of which they push the water through the beans is what he said. Yeah, obviously the bean's got to be a great bean. They grind it fresh, but then apparently inside that chamber, it's some type of a steam process that you're getting the coffee, instead of it just being filtered, you're getting it pressurized or something, which gets more flavor out of the bean. And it was a full body, I'm talking thick cup of coffee.
A friend of mine probably paid way too much and bought one of those cocktail mixers where you just take the pod and stick it in there it'll make you an old-fashioned or whatever you want right there. Just the same thing.
Just by putting a pod in, it makes the whole drink.
It makes
for
the
you?
whole drink.
Oh wow,
it's pretty amazing. You got to be serious to want one of those because it costs.
Can you
pretty
get
penny?
Can it make a double?
Maybe it might. I don't know. I don't own it, but I remember seeing it.
All right.
All right. Coming up, we're going to get to in other news. We got Gregg Jarrett, legal analyst extraordinaire from Fox, coming up. He's written so many books about the prosecution, the persecution of Donald Trump the last 7 or 8 years, and we're going to get his thoughts on the James Comey indictment and any others that might be coming down the pike at about 7:20. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. Well, we really generally look good out there on the roads, but 55 is jammed down south. We've got all this road work, and they've moved traffic here and there, and northbound 55 is really jammed as you approach 67 this morning. So just bear that in mind. And, of course, it's caused it to slow on either side of 67. So if you are headed for the Festus area this morning, it's a jam. Now, once you get north of there, by the time you hit Herculaneum, things open up, and then they look great until about Bayless, where you slow again in the second construction zone on 55. Now, northbound 270 has moderate volume in pockets. That's Gravois on up through 64. Southbound 270, some moderate volume at 40 itself. But eastbound 70 looks good, and that's Warrenton into downtown. 64 looks good at this hour from out west. 44 is in good shape. We're quiet through North County. And every now and then there's a little bit of volume westbound on the Poplar, but for the most part, we look good. This report brought to you by The Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let's talk about Chesterfield Fence and Deck and the great change and difference it can make in your property. It's your little corner of the world. You have an opportunity to improve it. Maybe you'd like to see it improve, but you don't know what to do. Just call Chesterfield Fence, because ChesterfieldFence.com has got all of the beautiful products that they can create for you. Fences and decks, of course, but it's the pergolas and the sunrooms and the all-season rooms, the patios with the fire pit in them, you name it, and they can do it to make it fit in your backyard. Everybody's backyard shaped a little differently, right? Some have more room, some have less. They will sit down with you and do free project design. I think you can't beat that. They got a company that's going to come out. They have so much pride in what they do. They've been around doing this for 57 years now. Think about that, with the same families. It's 1968, and they're great at it. The Better Business Bureau Torch Award winners, so highly recognized by their customers, and that is fantastic. Remember, September, you get the Marc Cox discount when you call them. 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Remember to tell them that Mark sent you. Go to ChesterfieldFence.com.
Scott Jennings here. I'm excited to be part of the St. Louis conservative conversation, cutting through the noise with unfiltered common sense.
Scott Jennings.
Weekdays at 8 p.m.
on 97.1 FM Talk.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid weekly. This Medicaid program is available to eligible St. Louis residents. New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area, this service is available through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid weekly. So go to freedomcare.com now, or for faster service, call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place, so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
Lighten up, Francis.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but in my opinion, the Ryder Cup this year was an embarrassment.
The crowd was really unruly. Yeah,
they've clearly forgotten the sportsmanship that's supposed to be going on here, with how angry they were getting and nasty they were getting with Rory McIlroy and all these folks. And then the MC, who was working as the master of ceremonies on the first tee, had to resign because she stepped away from the hole and was leading an F you Rory chant with the fans. And somebody caught her on camera doing it. And they fired her. Basically, she stepped down and said she got caught up in it and she was sorry. But, that's how outrageous things got. And the U.S. lost anyway.
I wore my Ryder Cup thing, but America made a great comeback. They were down quite a bit going into that last day, and they made a run at it, losing 15-13. But the animosity between the players was getting almost out of hand. You had them almost talking smack at each other and almost getting into fisticuffs a couple times. Like you said, it was golf gone awry. It was like it almost became full contact
That's
golf.
a shame.
It is a shame, and I almost wonder if they're not going to change some things. Was it that way in Europe the last time they played it over there?
It certainly has become an annual dogfight.
Yeah.
I mean, they do not like each other in that competition. They get along pretty well on the tour, from what I understand, but something about the Europe against U.S. brings out the worst in these guys.
Wow.
Yeah. It was crazy. Hey, did you guys know that coming up on a soon-to-be HGTV Scariest House in America, St. Louis is going to get featured? What do you think it is? Not Lemp Mansion. Everybody
not
thinks it's
Lemp Mansion.
It's next door at the Bissell Mansion.
Really?
Yes. The Bissell Mansion is garnering the attention of paranormal enthusiasts all over the world. They're saying that there have been multiple accounts, recent accounts, including a contractor who was just working on the restoration of the home, who kept seeing this man appear in this one particular window. And, so anyway, it's going to be featured on Scariest Houses in America.
Glad to hear we're back in there. You know, the St. Louis Bourbon Festival is Friday night at the Lemp Mansion.
Yes.
Right by the Lemp Mansion.
Let's sneak over to the haunted house.
If you see things after too many bourbons, it might not be real. I'll just warn you.
For the man in the window.
Exactly. So I leave the country for 10 days, and I get back to this announcement, and I'm just so excited. They've announced the 2026 halftime performer for the Super Bowl. Did you hear that, Dan?
Dude, I can't believe they put this.
What? Who is it?
It's Bad Bunny. Who in the hell is Bad Bunny?
Don't know him.
He's a huge star. He really is.
Then I listened to him. And he's like really, really famous in the Hispanic world.
Okay.
Like he's like one of the top musicians, but most of his songs are all in Spanish.
Interesting.
I mean, because there's so many Spanish-speaking football players. I get that. Oh no, that's baseball. Sorry,
I mean, he was the third choice. So
he was the third choice.
Yeah, they tried to get Taylor Swift. She said no. They tried to get Adele. She said no.
And then they
might as well go Bad Bunny at that point.
What?
Because you know that he'd say yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they.
It'll expand his audience. I mean, why wouldn't he say yes?
Of course.
To be honest.
Yeah, any performer who's up and coming would love it. But I'd love to see like a halftime show that's got like 7 greats, like legendary greats who all do like a song apiece, and they just kind of go through it. But they won't do that.
You can see that down in Branson.
There you go.
It's called Legends.
The Legends. All right, got one last one. You got time for one more?
Yep, you do.
So did you hear about the homeowner who had a groundhog living under his porch, and the contractors were coming and were going to take away this hole of this groundhog? So he puts a trap out in his yard, pays a trapper to come, a professional trapper, gets the dang groundhog into the trap. One of the neighbors sees the groundhog in the trap and says, "Oh, he's going to kill the poor guy. He's going to kill him, so I'm going to go free him." He goes out and lets the woman, Nancy, the next door neighbor. It wasn't Karen. Lets the dang thing out, and now the guy wants reimbursed. So they're having a neighbor feud because he's like, "I paid $150 to save the damn groundhog. You let him out." And she goes, "Well, I thought you were going to kill him." So
none of your business. It's not your yard.
It wasn't his yard. Exactly. It wasn't her yard. So now he's getting rid of it. He's got another plan in place, but the groundhog is still alive, just for everybody's well-being.
Okay,
but
good.
they have until the end of the week to get it out, or it's getting.
There might have been other ways to deal with that, but
yes, there could.
I'm just saying,
Yep.
she's lucky he used a live trap.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There you go. He did the humane thing.
He did. Yes, he was. He was probably going to take it and release it in somebody else's yard.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah,
right.
that could be it. All right. Coming up next hour, we're going to get to Gregg Jarrett, legal and political analyst, of course, for Fox News Channel. We've had him on here many times over the years, written some fantastic books about Donald Trump and how he was persecuted by the left in this country repeatedly. And I'm anxious to hear what he has to say about the possibility of James Comey being behind bars at some point. We're going to Get to him at about 7:20. A little later, Tom Ackerman is going to join us to talk about the Mizzou Alabama game that's coming up after the bye. We'll be right back.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated. Member SIPC and NYSE.
Get ready, because here they come.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's Beatlemania all over again with the Fab Four, the ultimate tribute to the Beatles. Entertainment Tonight says seeing the Fab Four is just like seeing the Beatles.
Hey Jude.
The Fab Four takes you through the 60s with the music that changed our lives. It's a show you won't want to miss.
Saturday, October 4th at the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon.
Something tells me I'm into something good.
And the Lovin' Spoonful.
Do you believe in magic?
Saturday, October 25th at the Family Arena with the Hollies' greatest hits, starring Terry Sylvester. Get tickets now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon and the Lovin' Spoonful.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The FBI is calling it a targeted attack. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The one at a church in Grand Blanc, Michigan, where a gunman drove through an entrance, started shooting during a Sunday morning service, and set the church on fire, killing at least 4 people, injuring 8.
Police say there are still people unaccounted for. They're digging through the church debris to find more victims.
Fox's Brooke Taylor outside the church.
The shooter, identified as 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford from Michigan. He was killed in a shootout with officers just minutes later. He was a Marine and served from 2004 to 2008 with deployments to Iraq.
A former Marine who also fought in Iraq is the accused gunman in a shooting at a waterfront bar in Southport, North Carolina. Fox's Madison Scarpino on what happened.
People were just out enjoying their Saturday night. They were eating, drinking, listening to live music, when all of a sudden, a man in a boat allegedly starts shooting into the crowd. 3 people are now dead, 5 are injured, and officials confirm that the suspect is 40-year-old Nigel Edge. He was arrested not long after the shooting.
And he is due in court today. Tyler Robinson will also appear in court in Utah, though Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin will attend today's hearing via video from jail. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will go to the White House this morning as President Trump pushes a Gaza ceasefire plan between Israel and Hamas.
Details have reportedly include a hostage prisoner exchange, a U.S.-backed Palestinian authority that temporarily governs Gaza, and Israel halting future strikes in Qatar. Now, President Trump wrote yesterday, quote, "We have a real chance for greatness in the Middle East. All are on board for something special. First time ever, we will get it done.
That's Fox's Alexandria Hoff at the White House, where after the Netanyahu meeting, the president will huddle up with congressional leaders in both parties trying to avert a government shutdown on Wednesday as Republicans are pushing a 7-week funding extension. Democrats say they're pushing for some reductions in health care. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 7:03 and 64 degrees. St. Louis City homicide detectives are investigating a shootout in North St. Louis after one victim died at the hospital following the incident. Officials responded to the 5300 block of Ruskin Avenue in the Mark Twain neighborhood around 2:30 in the afternoon yesterday. A 23-year-old man died in the shootout. 2 other men hospitalized in critical condition. 3 people were killed, several others injured Sunday afternoon in a multi-vehicle accident, including a tractor-trailer down in Jefferson County. Both lanes of I-55 were closed for more than 4 hours. Police have not yet released details on what led to that multi-vehicle fatality. Missouri's new congressional map became law as Governor Mike Keogh signed it during a private event in Jeff City on Sunday. The map specifically expands the 5th congressional district in Kansas City, currently held by Democratic Representative Emanuel Cleaver. By incorporating the suburbs and more rural areas, that now becomes heavily Republican. One of the Cardinals' most beloved and well-known fans has died. Marty Prather, known as the Sign Man for his large, witty posters that he displayed for over 5 decades at Cardinal games and Missouri State games, passed away over the weekend. Prather was just 67. In weekend sports, the Chiefs won in big fashion Sunday. They hammered the Ravens 37-20, and the Bears edged the Raiders 25-24. The wild card table is set for MLB's playoff beginning tomorrow. In the AL, it's the Tigers and Guardians. Red Sox face the Yankees. In the National League, you've got the Reds and Dodgers, and Padres and Cubs in the wild card. In golf, Europe edged the U.S. 15-13 in the highly heated Ryder Cup. It is 7:05 and 64 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, if you are a northbound 55 driver, we've had lane reconfigurations, I should say, and closures all over the place. So it's a slow go this morning. Headed for 67, and then it looks better once you get north of Main Street, essentially. But it's really slow in the Festus area this morning. And also a parking lot is northbound 61, headed for 55. Just a real slow go. Now, elsewhere, it's been the usual volume. Northbound 270, pockets of moderate volume between Gravois and 64. We've got 55 with some moderate volume at Bayless. Southbound 270, a little slow at 64. But eastbound 70 and 64 both look great. From out west into downtown, we're quiet through North County and look really good on the bridges for drivers headed in from Illinois. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com. Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property, manage vegetation, and clear land for better views. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Temperatures are warm, but the humidity is also low. Lots of sunshine on this Monday. Let's warm it up to about 88 degrees this afternoon. Tonight, clear skies. Beautiful evening as temperatures drop quickly with the dry air. 64 for the low. Tuesday, sunny. Back to 88 degrees. 63 on Tuesday night. Wednesday, plenty of sunshine. 86. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Byrne.
It's 7:06. We've got 64 degrees to start your Monday morning. Remember, you can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you anytime, anywhere. All you have to do is download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on a Monday morning, the 29th day of the month. And it's actually Mark sitting here in the chair. It's amazing. Dan Buck just down the desk from me here. We got Ethan Bright and Sue Thomas in here with your traffic. So happy to be back. And
man, it's good to have you back too, man. 10-day trip. It was
fun.
A long
trip.
You know, I'm a guy who doesn't matter whether I'm on a cruise, whether I'm on a beach, whether I'm in the mountains. I always get to about that 6th day, and I'm so ready to be home. I'm just like, I've seen it, done it. Now, you were traveling to multiple destinations, which makes it a little bit better.
Yes.
And you do that on a cruise, too, but I just get so stir-crazy, and I'm ready to be home, sleep in my own bed. I don't like long vacations. Every time I've done them, I'm like done by about the 7th day.
Went to Italy last year, and it was about 10 days, and it didn't seem long enough, oddly enough. There was so much to see. And I felt that way largely this time. It maybe by the 7th or 8th day, but we did have a fantastic trip through Prague and Vienna and down to Budapest by bus, and we stopped at these tiny little villages that you're seeing something that was built in the 12th century that's still standing. It's just amazing.
And is the scenery, is it fall there like it is here?
No,
where there's
very
colors?
similar temperatures.
Yeah,
we were in the 80s for the first part of the week, and then it got a little colder. But they're right at the end of tourist season over there. Usually the end of September, 1st of October. It's just about the end.
Leaves turning in color,
just barely.
Just barely.
Oh,
okay. Because ours are really starting to get into full color. It's pretty cool to see.
I think it won't be long here before they were too. We just missed it clearly. Coming up, we're going to get to Gregg Jarrett, legal political analyst for Fox, who's written a bunch of books about. Of course, the Trump years and the political persecution of Donald Trump by the Democrats, who are now whining that it's not fair that James Comey's been indicted. So we're going to see what Gregg's analysis is of all of that for you coming up,
and his take on the auto pen and the legality of whether the auto pen pardons that Biden did, whether they'll hold up in court.
And what it would take to get to that decision.
Right.
Supreme Court, I mean, I don't know how far that would have to go to decide that a sitting president's pardons were ineligible.
Especially if he was not mentally aware or even informed of the pardons prior. He was out of the country when many of those pardons were given.
That may be what it comes down to.
Right.
And then you subpoena people under oath, and you find out who's going to tell the truth under risk of going to federal prison. But we'll get to all that for you coming up. One thing that we haven't talked a lot about this morning so far is this horrible shooting up in Michigan. It sounds like the fire may have killed a bunch of people. That we don't know a lot about the suspect here. I'm waiting for the governor of Michigan to come out and blame guns. But the guy was clearly mentally ill, as is the case in most of these situations, rammed his truck into this Latter-day Saints church, then got out with a gun and started shooting people that were running toward the church.
Yeah.
Set the church on fire, blocked the entrance basically with his truck, and then started shooting people who were trying to flee the scene or run to help because they thought there'd been a car accident. I'm sure more details will come out on it today.
Yeah, and a 5th person reportedly died of their injuries. So it's now up to 5.
It's now up to 5. Yeah, that's just a shame. All right, let's get to our top stories, Ethan, please.
The Marc Cox Short List.
I trust the justice system. There will be a process. He will have his day in court, and if he is innocent of the charges, then I'm sure that they'll be thrown out.
Yeah, that's John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, who was speaking yesterday. I know he spoke to Maria Bartiromo and a few other people, but he was saying that Comey will have his day in court. We think the evidence is strong. We'll see what happens.
It's fine to have partisan debates and squabbles, but you don't hold the people hostage for their services to allow yourself political cover, and that's what Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are doing right now.
Yeah, we couldn't agree more. Mike Johnson talking about this pending government shutdown. You know, we're going to get a live report from Ryan Schmelz up in D.C. coming up in the next hour just to find out where things stand. There's a meeting today between the president and Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. We'll see what happens.
Closest election for President of the United States in the 21st century.
Wow, I know that's right.
What? What'd she just say?
I don't know what she's been drinking, but she now wants you to believe that her 75 electoral vote loss to Donald Trump was the closest election in the 21st century.
Unbelievable.
Is it the vodka? I don't know what it is, but there was more word salad from one Kamala Harris.
We'll have to go beyond the market. We can establish community land trusts to gradually buy up housing on the private market and convert it to community ownership. We can give tenants a right of first refusal to buy out their landlords when buildings go up for sale.
That is the socialist who will probably be the next mayor of New York City.
Just unbelievable that guy really thinks that socialized housing is the solution to affordability. I mean, does he understand that if you tax people at that rate, because to make that kind of a public investment, that is such taxation, people are going to flee New York.
They have to.
And then who has to pay the burden is the actual working class people that he's claiming that he's going to help.
It is St. Louis is a microcosm of what he's trying to do to New York. Taxes went up. Earnings taxes keep driving people away because new businesses don't want to locate here. People flee to the county. So what's the solution? Oh, we need to merge the county and the city so we can chase all those wallets that decided to leave the city. They took all of our money. We need to get them back, which is the whole purpose behind the merger. In New York City, there's nowhere for them to go, right? Because New York State is crazy too.
Go to Jersey, where it's even more.
New
cost of living is even higher.
Crazy too.
Yeah.
People are going to flee that area, and then when all of the high wage workers aren't there anymore, who are they going to tax?
Yeah, the corporations will be gone. That's it. He keeps saying the corporate tax is going to pay for this. What are you talking about? You think those corporations are going to hang out while they see 10 to 20% increases to their income tax?
Oh, imagine what's going to cost to eat at a restaurant anywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Even the hot dog stands will be taxed.
What sales tax?
Crazy.
I mean, he'll invent taxes.
Listen to the full bite here from Zohran Mamdani, just so you can understand the extent to which this guy's mind is completely warped. Go to cut 17, please.
We'll have to go beyond the market. We can establish community land trusts to gradually buy up housing on the private market and convert it to community ownership. We can give tenants a right of first refusal to buy out their landlords when buildings go up for sale. And we can fully commit to a new era of social housing, ending subsidies for luxury housing development and using our wealth to build beautiful, high-quality social housing projects that offer good homes and strong communities to everyone. We won't decommodify housing overnight, but we know what we have to do, and we have history to guide us.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of was the late 90s, the Fair Housing Act that was implemented by Bill Clinton.
Yep.
When his idea was, I'll just give out vouchers to poor people and we'll just make them market rate instead of the low rate. And that way they'll be able to afford to go to the counties and to the outlying areas with their vouchers. And that's how we'll break up poverty. What he didn't take into consideration, and this is just typical socialist, that when you give more in a public subsidy, it hurts the private market. It's going to drive the prices of the private market, which does what? It puts more people in jeopardy.
Yes.
So instead of having a $650 rent in St. Louis County, well, if you make the voucher $900, is that landlord still going to charge $650? No, he's going to raise it to $900.
Thank you.
Because he said, well, if you don't want to pay me $900, I can go get a voucher person to pay this, because the vouchers used to pay for slumlords, basically, $400, $500. And it was a motivation to get out of those situations, become independent, and get, be able to pay your own rent in a nicer place. And I know this from experience because I worked at St. Patrick's Center in 2001, and we were seeing the effect of this horrific piece of legislation putting thousands of people at risk of becoming homeless or not being able to afford their rent because these vouchers went through the roof.
It's crazy.
And that's what he's talking about. He's talking about socializing all housing in New York City.
Or at least a lot of it.
A lot of it. And take away subsidies for building high-rises for wealthy people. Guess what? You don't get wealthy people you can tax. Because they won't come if they can't afford it.
Live there.
It's true. It's unbelievable.
You know what? Gregg Jarrett wrote a book called Witch Hunt, the story of the greatest mass delusion in American political history. That was about the Russia hoax. And then, of course, he wrote more books about how Donald Trump was, of course, persecuted by Democrats after the Russian hoax. Even after that big one, they just kept at it. We're going to get him live on the air when we come back. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Northbound 55 drivers, it's a jam for you headed for Festus this morning. Really on either side of Festus, there's a lot of lane configurations that have been redone. So it's a slow go through there this morning. Then slowing again at the other construction zone around Bayless. Northbound 55, slow pockets of moderate volume. Northbound 270, slow pockets of moderate volume from 55 up through 64. Eastbound 70 still looks good from Wentzville into downtown. There's some moderate volume at Bryan Road and 79, but nothing terrible. 64 a little slow at Winghaven and at Timberlake Manor and at the Innerbelt. If you are headed in from Illinois, it looks great. No problems on the Illinois side or on the bridges downtown. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
In the 70s, baseball player Jerry Kelly decided to do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
This year, the company Jerry started decided we'd do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating, Air and Electrical.
And electrical.
JerryKelly.com.
Let's talk about Dr. Michael White, who I'm proud to say is my dentist and has been for many years now. He's taken care of my entire family, from my mother to my youngest daughter. We've dealt with orthodontia, dentures, caps, fillings, regular cleanings, because Dr. White understands just how important your dental health is. He's made a couple of key points at the center of his practice. Number one, he never wants you to avoid dental care because of cost. He never wants that to be the reason. He's got lots of payment options. He's worked hard to keep his prices affordable. And number two, he wants to make your treatment as pain-free as humanly possible, because he knows people who've avoided dental work and it just keeps getting worse. And then it's worse than it ever was, right? So he's got the easiest dental visits ever. I'll tell you that. He can do sedation dentistry if that's what you need. But talk to him about it. Call him up. Tell him you heard Marc Cox talking about it and you want to try a different kind of dentistry. 314-270-8552. That's 314-270-8552 or sunsethills.dentist.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is, how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 coworkers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won a lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
There are many things that he could have been indicted for, but the statute of limitations ran out on so many of those matters. Not here. Perjury is important. You can't, especially if you're a high official, appointed or elected official, you cannot raise your hand, take an oath, and lie to Congress. And that's an important principle, Jake, for us to advance.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but you didn't answer the part about President Trump putting it all out there for everyone to see.
Yeah, you didn't answer the question, blah, blah, blah. That's a CNN for you, right? Over there talking about this with Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. We are efforting getting a hold of Gregg Jarrett this morning. I don't think we've had any luck yet for some reason. Sometimes previous interviews carry over. So
he was just on Fox about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's. We'll get him on the air here in just a minute. But he wrote a book about the Russia collusion, Russiagate, called Witch Hunt. He wrote one called The Russia Hoax, and then he followed it up with one called Witch Hunt. And who was at the center of all of that? James Comey is on the cover of his book. So I can't wait to get his thoughts on exactly how this went down with James Comey and the fact that, unfortunately, as you heard Mike Johnson say there, if it wasn't for the statute of limitations, there could potentially be a lot more that James Comey could be charged with. And I don't know when that statute ran out on some of those other charges. Maybe it was before Donald Trump got reelected or before he could get people in place in the DOJ to pursue this, because the Biden people weren't going to pursue it. He was doing their bidding.
Well, and every time he testified and lied, or supposedly lied in front of Congress on those things, that clock restarted. So even though it was about Russian collusion issues, it was about laptop issues, it was about some of the investigations into Donald Trump that were clearly illegal and being pushed, those things ran out. So all they can get him on now is the actual lying to Congress and the deceiving the congressional stuff. So even if they get him, it's on much lesser charges than what the actual real big crimes were, because those statutes have run out.
Oh, sure.
They can only get him because of his testimony well after the fact.
Well, I mean, again, if you're convicted of perjury, that's a serious crime. And my guess is he's relegated to long walks on the beach these days anyway. I don't know who would employ him. But if he's got that on his record as well, that's fitting. There was some sense of justice there if that happens, in my opinion.
And then you've still got the question of, are any of the charges, and that was one reason why I was looking forward to having him on, was is there any way to go back and get Obama and get Clinton in 2016 for the clear lies that were told on the Russia collusion? Obviously, calling Donald Trump a Russian asset, coming up with 61 intelligence agents calling the laptop from hell Russian disinformation. I mean, those were all felonies to the American people of lying about something they clearly knew. The dossier. I mean, go right down the list of everything.
Right down the list.
Yeah, of things we could have convicted them on, but now the statute of limitations on many of those things I think have run out.
How about Hillary Clinton and Susan Rice on Benghazi? I don't know. I mean, that was clear perjury.
And still no justice.
And they
for
knew
those.
darn good and well what happened there and what caused it. And if you saw 13 hours, their lack of sending support in. Looks like we do have Gregg Jarrett on the phone this morning from Fox News. Greg, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. Thanks very much.
I was just noticing the cover of your book, The Russia Hoax, has a guy named James Comey pictured on there. How are you feeling about this?
You know, I opened the book talking about how vainglorious and arrogant he is. And, of course, you know, he didn't disappoint on Thursday. You know, moments after the indictment, he rushed to the nearest camera to vow that he was going to fight for, you know, truth, justice, and the American way. The only thing missing was his Superman cape. You know, he is nauseously self-righteous and self-absorbed. But that aside, you know, we'll see whether or not prosecutors have marshaled together sufficient evidence to bring a credible case. I think much of it's simply going to depend on the quality of the witnesses who are top former FBI officials, longtime loyalists to James Comey. Have they turned against him, or will they sort of hedge and fudge their testimony in his favor? It's too early to know.
Yeah, and Andrew McCabe testified, did he not, that he did leak information? It's hard for me to believe that James Comey didn't sign off on that.
Yeah, I agree with you. The way that Comey can kind of weasel his way out is, well, I didn't authorize it in advance. I only acquiesced after I was told after the fact. You know, that's one way that, you know, he can get around, you know, the willful, intentional nature under the false statement and obstruction statutes.
You know, a lot of people asking if the pardons against other people in both the Biden administration, Obama administration, the mass amount of pardons that were auto-pen generated, will those hold up legally if indeed it's found that the president either A, didn't order it or authorize those auto-pen uses, or B, was not mentally, you know, astute enough to make those pardons? Where do you think the auto-pen argument's going to land?
Well, I think it requires more investigation, more testimony. But from what we know, it would appear that Biden didn't specifically authorize a great many of those pardons, which, you know, under the law, you cannot delegate that power to somebody else. And, you know, under the law, he has to knowingly understand and grant the pardons. If he was incapable mentally of knowing, that renders them null and void, invalid.
Wow. So now we have the testimony of the former prosecutor who said that he was a tired old man with a bad memory. So it couldn't be Joe Biden's defense, correct? I mean, Joe Biden saying I did authorize it would not be good enough. If you've got people in the administration willing to testify that they know he was unaware of that.
Yeah, and in particular, there's one former White House aide who was actually operating the auto pen, who said, you know, I almost never saw Biden. I received no specific instructions from him, that it was delegated through one of his, you know, top inner circle members. And so it you know, it invites the question, did Biden even know about it? Or was the auto pen being operated without his consent? Under the law, it comes down to consent. So did he know about it? A. B, was he capable mentally of granting consent? You know, these are questions that need further investigation, the answers to which we simply don't know.
It's a great point.
They're saying there's a lot more indictments in the works. Do you have a sense of whom? Is it McCabe? Is it going to be, you know, the Bidens? Is it Fauci? I mean, where do you think some of these next indictments are going to go after?
Well, we do know that the former CIA director John Brennan is under criminal investigation by the Department of Justice. So I think they're weighing whether to bring charges against him. There are also questions about the statute of limitations, whether that's expired. The indictment against Comey was rendered just days before tomorrow's expiration of the statute of limitations. So there are a lot of considerations here. But I think also the Department of Justice is looking at a ongoing conspiracy surrounding lawfare, which extends the statute of limitations. So, at this point in time, we're just sort of looking into a crystal ball, and we really have no idea what the DOJ is doing.
Gregg Jarrett, Fox News host, and, of course, senior legal reporter for him. We appreciate your time, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
My pleasure.
All right, take care. We'll talk again soon. And we're going to take a quick break. We will be back in just a minute. Tom Ackerman coming up in the next hour. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Accident out west. Just watch out for that one. It's northbound 61 at Dietrich. That's a little bit north of Highway W. But for the most part, it's the usual volume on eastbound 70 this morning. In pockets as you head towards 79. Looks better after Lindbergh. And eastbound 64. Some slow-moving traffic approaching Clarkson through Timberlake Manor. Some at 270, and then it lines up on either side of the Interbelt. Now, westbound is slowing there, too, headed for Hanley. We've got slow pockets of moderate volume along northbound 270, 21 on up through 64, and we had a jam earlier, northbound 55 headed for 67. It's a little bit better now. They've got a lane configuration that has been switched over the weekend, and it was so dark nobody could see. Now that they can, it's a little bit better. 55 slowing at Bayless. And not that bad if you're headed in from Illinois on the bridges downtown. This report brought to you by the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Do you know if you have enough money saved for retirement? Because this is a really big deal, obviously. And you save, and then you think, wait a minute, is this enough? How do you know whether this is going to be enough? We don't know how to work the tax system. How do you do Social Security so you can get the most out of it? Well, this is why I like financial and tax architects. They have helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And their idea is, we're going to teach you how things work. And it's a class called Retirement Planning 101, and you can find out, here's how to reduce taxes in retirement. Here's how and when to claim Social Security. So you just go. It's 2.5 hours, but you have to register. 314-888-5101, 314-888-5101. And once you learn how the system works, you can decide whether or not you want to work with them. Because that is the way to go. Have somebody give you a professional financial plan in place.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
My whole identity had been wrapped up in being a soldier. To have that so violently ripped from me when I was wounded, I was lost for a very long time. When Wounded Warrior Project came into my life, being around the other warriors, people that had similar experiences that I did, it was a game changer for me. Having King join the group, that was the beginning of a really good friendship. it's a good time.
I first heard about Wounded Warrior Project through CQ. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I qualify. But having been a part of it, it's kind of taught me that it's not just the wounds that you can see, but it's those that you can't.
When you do something like a peer support group with Wounded Warrior Project and come together from different walks of life, man, the growth is incredible. If not for Wounded Warrior Project, I really don't think that I'd be here today.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
The amazing Nissan Now sales event is on at St. Charles Nissan. Thank you for making us the #1 Nissan dealer in Missouri for 2024. This month, take $10,000 off MSRP or get 0% APR for 72 months on a new 2024 Murano. Or take $7,000 off MSRP or get 0% APR for 60 months on a new 2024 Rogue. Hurry in. These amazing offers end February 28th. Visit us online at stcharlesnissan.com. Call 636-244-8448 for details.
Scott, can you believe it's already been more than a decade since the Queen of Carpets sold flooring to St. Louis area contractors?
I know, but I don't have to be a king to offer contractors today's lowest prices.
Yes, contractors owe it to their customers and themselves to shop at Best Buy Flooring for the largest in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile.
Plus 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and Metro East.
Open 7 days a week. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy. Best Buy Flooring.
Real talk, today's issues. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's never too early to learn that the government is a greedy piglet that suckles on a taxpayer's teat until they have sore, chapped nipples.
All right, time for a little soapbox here on the state of American airports. Can I just tell you that, Dan? I want to talk about Lambert Airport for just a minute. There's all this talk about fixing the airport up, right? And of course, I had to fly in and out of there in the past week when I was on vacation, and I had to fly into Detroit. Now, I think of Detroit as a complete crap hole. Ryan Recker, I'm sorry. I know Ryan lives there now. But that's my image of Detroit, Michigan is a crap hole. It is. Detroit, Dearborn, the whole bunch of I don't have a good image of it. And I've been there.
Bad vibes. Yeah.
I've been there many years ago, and it's just I have bad vibes from Detroit. Their airport is surprisingly clean and updated, right?
Okay.
But I got to tell you, I've flown through many major airports in Florida, in Georgia, in Atlanta, Newark, O'Hare, obviously Denver and Minneapolis. I mean, I've flown through a majority of American airports. None of them can hold a candle to the airports in Europe, and I don't know why that is.
What is it about the European airports? Just cleaner.
They're cleaner. They're more modern and updated. Like, for example, so we had an early call Saturday. We had to get up at 2:30 Budapest time to catch a 3:30 bus to get to the airport for a 6 a.m. flight. So we were exhausted, to say the least. By the time we finally got to Amsterdam, which was a 2-hour flight to Amsterdam, we get into the Amsterdam airport, and I kind of wish I had more time there, right? But what I noticed was that all of the chairs don't have arms.
Yeah.
If you go to Lambert and you're freaking exhausted you got a big layover because you're trying to get to somewhere else because you can't fly anywhere directly out of Lambert anymore, it seems like. And you just want to stretch out and lay down for a minute. You can't. There's not a chair in Lambert Airport that I know of that doesn't have arms,
Dude,
which is maddening to me.
That's every airport in America. Honest to goodness, they do not have any.
They do not
seating.
Want you to be able to lay down and take up more than one chair. Even it doesn't matter how tired you are. Nothing like that.
Or if
right?
you're in an empty gate. I got laid over one time in Baltimore. I couldn't find one anywhere in the airport to where I could
so
lay down.
So you got to lay down on the hard floor, which
literally
is nasty.
I had 7 hours overnight. 11 o'clock I was supposed to board a plane, and my connecting flight was like 20 minutes late. They locked the gate on me. I couldn't get in. I had to stay till a 5 a.m. flight out. So for 7 hours, I looked for a place to freaking lay down and could not. Everything had a chair. And that's Baltimore, that's Atlanta, that's Chicago. They do not want you to lay down in an American airport.
At the Budapest airport, they had lounge chairs.
Recliners?
Like lounge chairs. Like they weren't really recliners, but they were just sort of, they had the long thing for your legs, and then they just sort of, you could recline. There were people sacked out on these things, right? Because they had gotten there early and they're waiting for their flight. I've never seen anything like that in America. Now, obviously, I haven't been to every single airport. There may be examples out there where a couple of people have caught up. But if we're going to rehab Lambert Airport, we're going to spend millions of dollars doing this or that, there's more to it than just changing the World War II look of it, right? Do something on the inside.
Right.
Make the inside livable. And because sometimes people have to be there for 5 or 6 hours. Give them some place to relax instead of having to pay exorbitant airport prices to rent one of those sleeping pods. I saw that at one airport, I think it was Detroit maybe, where you could pay to crawl in there for an hour and snooze.
And I'd pay happily. Just make them available. I mean, it's ridiculous.
They don't do anything like that at Lambert.
No.
And then, of course, you go into the I'm going to gripe about this again. You go in to get a beer and an appetizer while you're waiting for your flight, and it's $42 for a beer and some fried shrimp. It was $42. Wow. My wife had a soda. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's the state of American airports.
Stadium pricing at the airport, no question.
Yeah,
it's the same people. It's Aramark. It's one of the big food providers, and that's just what they do. It doesn't matter where you're at.
Yeah, we flew through Frankfurt last year. I've obviously been to the airport in Rome. I've now been to the airport in Prague, and in Budapest, and in Amsterdam, and London. We were in Heathrow last year. All of them are just clean and updated. Not all of them have the arm-free chairs, but some of them are catching on.
Yeah. I mean, and I love your idea of saying, hey, if you don't want to provide it to the everyday cash, at least give me a pod or give me an area that's got like 8 or 10 sleeping rooms for people who do have extended stay overnights and want to catch some shut-eye. Give them a quiet place that they can go, close the door, pay a fee, whatever it is. And you could make some more revenue off a waiting area, too. I mean, revenue is always an issue, right?
Yeah.
But I think people would pay $15-20 for a sleeping pod for a few hours.
Paris was the exception. We flew into Paris and had a 4 or almost 5 hour layover to get into Prague. And that was not the most updated airport I've ever seen, surprisingly.
At least everybody in France is kind and considerate and sweet to Americans.
And they don't care.
They hate you.
I was, waiting for Brigitte Macron to come out and, be serving us or something, but no.
Right.
You could get caviar at the little bar where you paid $18 for a beer or whatever.
How much were fish eggs?
$100. 100 euros. I'm sorry. It's 100 euros for caviar.
And the conversion rate right now is what?
It's about a
7?
125. 100. Oh. It's about $1.25 to a euro.
So it would be $125.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
For fish eggs.
Yeah. I know.
I'll be darned.
Who
knew?
It's eye-opening to travel the world and see how
and that's
people
without crackers. The crackers are another 20.
The crackers, the Ritz crackers were another 120. I don't know. I didn't know. I wasn't about to order it, but it was just amazing to me.
Well, I'm glad to get you out of the madness and the craziness and the frustration of those airports and get you back in here.
Well, thank you.
It's great.
Glad to be back. A little slap happy because of the time difference. Because to my body, it's like, I'm wide awake because it would be like 3 in the afternoon, 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon over there.
Yeah, it takes your body like 4 or 5 days. That jet lag's real.
It
no
does.
question.
It was worse going that way, I think, but a little better coming this way. That's good. All right, coming up, we're going to get back to Dan with Buck Don't Give a Blank. He's got a great one today. Stay tuned for that. And coming up in the next hour, will the government shut down? I don't know. If it does, will anybody notice? The average person, probably not. But there is going to be a meeting today. We're going to check in with Ryan. He's covering us live from Washington, D.C. And, of course, Tom Ackerman in here at 8:35 with more on Mizzou, maybe his thoughts on the unsportsmanlike conduct at the Ryder Cup this year. All that coming up. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, good morning to you. It's not too bad out there, but we do have volume. There was a stall reported northbound 55 at Butler Hill. It looks like they've moved that off to the shoulder. But some slow-moving traffic in that area, mainly north of Revis Barracks as you head into the construction zone. Still moderate volume along northbound 270 between 21 and 64. Southbound, same thing, kind of moderate volume headed down toward Ladue Road. Now, eastbound 70, a moderate volume pocket or two out west. It slows at 270 and really jams at the inner belt. We've got a report of an accident just east of 170 causing delays through there. Now, eastbound 64 is heavier. Most of that volume, though, is Chesterfield Valley, and that's in pockets through Maryville Center and then again on either side of 170. Now, if you're headed in from Illinois, there's just moderate volume for the length of the Poplar Street Bridge, so that's not too bad. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
All right, time for you to make sure you've got the most energy-efficient windows possible as the cold weather is just around the corner. Call my friends at Window World, 314-993-1800. John and the folks over there taking care of you right now because you can get 18 to 36 months interest-free finance. You can get your windows installed now. You take your time paying for them without any sort of interest penalty. I think that's fantastic. They've got all the information on their website, windowworldstlouis.com. So check them out. 314-993-1800 is the number. You know all about Window World. I'm a satisfied customer. They're number one in windows with Qualified Remodeler Magazine for a reason. Their prices are right. Their quality of installation, the quality of their windows. I've been out there. I've stood on them. They're solid. If they weren't, they couldn't give you a lifetime guarantee that would cover all of anything that might go wrong, including the labor and the parts and all of that stuff, even glass breakage. It's great. It's why they're so highly rated with the Better Business Bureau. Check out their Google reviews. They're fantastic, and you're going to appreciate what they do at Window World. It really sets them apart, I believe. So reach out today. Tell them you heard Marc Cox bragging about them. 314-993-1800, windowworldstlouis.com.
A Midwestern mom from Edwardsville, Illinois, rooted in faith, grounded in family. Annie Fry brings common sense and conviction to the conversation. The Annie Fry Show, weekdays at noon on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you have heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio every Saturday at 2, right here on 97.1 FM Talk, and you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Welcome to Coffee House. How are you today?
Hi, great, thanks. May I get a sea salt caramel latte with almond milk, extra caramel, extra shot, iced,
Gross.
And to go, please. Did you get all that?
No, I was just ringing you up for all the extras. Can you repeat your order, please?
Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna go.
Stop paying extra for extras. Get fancy coffee without the fancy coffee price at Quick Trip. Raise your coffee bar.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. That's right, weight loss seminar at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Truth, backbone. Marc Cox on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis conservative. But don't give a f.
It's the segment where we give people in social media a mainstream media platform. These are folks that most people in the mainstream do not ever want on their airwaves because, well, they're just out there speaking truth that doesn't fit their narrative, especially in the minority community. When was the last time you ever saw CNN or MSNBC focus on a African-American person talking favorably about Donald Trump? Ever?
Not often.
I can't think of one. So anyway, we have a great Minority Monday superstar. This gal, she only has about 23,000 followers on TikTok. Hopefully after you hear her, you're going to go out there, follow her, click on her. You also can find tons of her posts on X. A lot of people sharing her content. She's funny. She's smart. She's extremely passionate about an American. She's Jamaican born and came here as a legal immigrant. And folks, she's 100% a proud American. And she got an email recently or a little text post saying, "How dare you support MAGA as a black woman?" Well, this was her response of why she's so MAGA and wears a MAGA hat in all her videos, by the way. Here she is.
What kind of a black woman are you to vote for MAGA? Well, first of all, fix your sentence structure. It's horrible. But since you asked so nicely, I will honor you with a response. I am the kind of black woman who is educated.
She shows her diplomas here
I
on the
have
wall.
done several research on American history. I actually love American history. I'm also well-traveled, having been to 5 out of the 7 continents. I love the Lord, I love my family, and I love America. I am an immigrant, and I care about what this future holds for my children and my grandchildren who are yet to be born. What I do today will affect them tomorrow. So, what kind of black woman am I to vote for MAGA? The kind that wants to make America great again.
Absolutely.
Boom.
Bang. Like, what's so offensive about MAGA? Right? It's Make America Great Again. Spoken from an immigrant, a person who came here legally with her children and are raising them through the American standards. She is a student, too. When you watch her videos, she is a real student of American history. And she said she got a lot of that excitement towards America's past from her immigration process. In studying for her exam and going through many classes, it just encouraged her to dig deep into our founding fathers. And she has some amazing videos that really address her passion for why she's such a staunch American and a staunch supporter of President Trump. She also does some funny little lip-syncing things to various songs. She's just entertaining. I encourage you to go out there. It is real easy to find her. Just go MAGA 4547. All right, the President 45, President 47. MAGA 4547. You'll find her on TikTok. Even if you search MAGA 4547, she'll pop up on a ton of X feeds as well. If you're not on TikTok, you can find her content on a lot of other people's feeds. Every time she puts something out, it gets many, many shares. She has a lot of video views, but only 23,000 followers so far. I thought she would have a lot more. She's entertaining. Yeah. Anna Palumbo is her name. Again, a Jamaican born.
Are we sure that's her?
I think so. Yeah, Anna's. I know Anna's her name. You told me the last name.
This is Ann. I think I might have followed the wrong person when you told me this earlier. So
yeah, Anna is her first name, and that's all I've seen on her post. She doesn't give a lot of her personal details, but in her content, you'll love her. 100% true blue MAGA.
Yeah, there are a bunch of people out there who have a similar name that you can follow. So I think that's the catch.
Yeah, but MAGA 4547 is what will pop her. She'll pop up under that mantra.
Okay.
So, yep.
All right. Well, she's great. And for people that been listening for a long time, we had a lady on named Evelyn, who's a local success story who immigrated here from Africa 15 years ago. Same attitude toward it.
Yep.
I want America to be great. How could you not want America to be great? It's given me the greatest opportunity of my life.
And she
was being able to getting the honor to come here and become a U.S. citizen.
And people criticize her on the website all the time, on TikTok, for saying, you're an immigrant. How dare you support Donald Trump? He's anti-immigrant. And she says, no, he's not. He's pro-immigrant.
Yes.
He just says you got to do it legally. You don't walk into our country and we don't know anything about you and expect to stay. You're going to do it the legal process. And she has some funny takes on people who jump the line.
Yeah, she does.
And jump in front of her.
Great one, Dan. Thank you. Coming up, we'll talk to Ryan Schmelz about the possibility of the government turning out the lights and shutting the doors, and most of us probably won't even notice. But they are having a meeting today, so we'll check in with Ryan coming up at 8:20. And we got Tom Ackerman in studio at 8:35 to talk about Mizzou and their next big opponent, which is Alabama, in 2 weeks. We'll be back in just a minute.
When you go shopping, you may not get the bargain you want, but at least you know and can compare prices. It should be that way with healthcare, but too often it's not. Need an operation on your knee? Want to know what it's going to cost? Good luck. For 3 years, hospitals have been required to provide patients with list prices and have negotiated charges for some 300 services. Just over a third are fully compliant. In Missouri, prices differ greatly depending on a patient's insurance. The cost of a pelvic CT scan, for example, can be 20 times more expensive in one hospital than another. Price transparency allows patients to compare providers, forces hospitals to compete on price, and helps insurers negotiate lower rates. State law should require all healthcare providers to publish prices in a user-friendly form. What we don't know is costing us. The price of healthcare shouldn't be a secret. Check out our 2025 blueprint, Moving Missouri Forward, at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The FBI is searching a dead gunman's home in Michigan. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The morning after a deadly attack at a church in Grand Blanc.
To try to get to the bottom of why he would commit such an act of evil.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt also just told Fox they want to know
how premeditated it was, how much planning went into it, whether he left a note.
Fox's Brooke Taylor is there where it happened.
The shooter rammed his pickup truck right through the front doors of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. 4 victims died and 8 others are in the hospital. Police say the shooter then set the church on fire using gasoline and burning it right to the ground. 2 of the people who died were shot and the others were trapped in the burning church.
And they're searching the charred remains of that church, looking for more possible victims. 5 people are recovering from Saturday night's shooting in Southport, North Carolina, where 3 others were killed when a gunman drove a boat up to a waterfront bar and opened fire. That suspect's due in court today. So is Tyler Robinson, the accused Charlie Kirk assassin. He'll appear at the hearing virtually, though, via video from jail in Utah. Back to Caroline Leavitt at the White House, where President Trump will meet with congressional leaders this afternoon ahead of a deadline to fund the government by tomorrow night.
Now is not the time to try to get political points against Donald Trump. Now is the time to do right by the American people and keep the government funded. Our most vulnerable in our society and our country will be impacted by a government shutdown.
Democrats are demanding provisions they say will prevent cuts in health care coverage. Before the meeting, the president will sit down with Israel's prime minister, pushing a ceasefire for Gaza.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tells Fox he's working on it with U.S. officials.
And I hope we can make it a go because we want to free our hostages. We want to get rid of Hamas rule and have them disarmed.
There are differences still between Netanyahu and President Trump. The president criticized Israeli airstrikes inside Qatar and says he won't allow Israel to annex the West Bank.
That's Jared Halpert. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
97.1 FM Talk. I'm Dan Buck. It is the Marc Cox Morning Show, and I am stalling because I have to literally log on to my computer right as I went to start the newscast. It absolutely kicked me out, and now doesn't want to let me back in. But in some of the major news, there was a major accident down on I-55 overnight where 4 people died, 3 others seriously injured in a multi-vehicle accident. It shut down Highway 55 for more than 4 hours yesterday. Police have not released what the what caused the multi-vehicle accident that also involved a tractor trailer. In a shooting in North St. Louis yesterday, 1 man is dead, 2 others are seriously injured. Police have not given a reason why the North St. Louis shooting occurred, but they are saying that the suspect who started the shooting is the dead man, and the other 2 are in critical condition. In sports, the Ryder Cup goes to the Europeans. America made a valiant effort to come back on the Sunday, but they lost 15-13 in what was a very heated match, and the New York fans were definitely inappropriate throughout the event, causing a lot of turmoil within. In football, the Kansas City Chiefs, they defeated the Ravens 37-20, and the Bears even won 25-24. That's your news without a script. I'm Dan Buck, 8:05, the Marc Cox Morning Show. Back in a bit.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, there is the usual volume. Now, if you are eastbound on 70, it's pretty slow in the O'Fallon area. There was an accident east of K, and that caused a jam back through Bryan Road. Once you get east of that accident, some moderate volume at 270. Then we've got an accident just as on either side of 170, essentially. And that's really caused a delay in that area. Also on southbound 170, trying to merge onto 70. 64 just has the usual volume. It's your best bet at this hour. Slowing, though, at Clarkson and approaching 170 through Big Bend. We've got northbound 270. Moderate volume there, and that's from Gravois up through Ladue Road. 55 slowing at Bayless, and we look good on the bridges downtown. This report brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they have been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out. From windows and siding to kitchens, baths, and outdoor spaces, they deliver quality craftsmanship backed by lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com to start your dream project today. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Temperatures are warm, but the humidity is also low. Lots of sunshine on this Monday. Let's warm it up to about 88 degrees this afternoon. Tonight, clear skies. Beautiful evening as temperatures drop quickly with the dry air. 64 for the low. Tuesday, sunny. Back to 88 degrees. 63 on Tuesday night. Wednesday, plenty of sunshine. 86. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Byrne.
Still laughing about the newscast without a script. My computer completely locked me out. Anyway, it's 64 degrees. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show and all the other great shows here on 97.1 FM Talk anytime, anywhere. All you have to do is download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Keeping it real here on the Marc Cox Morning Show, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Buck is still laughing at the other end of the desk.
I am dying over here. That's like a nightmare come true. Like I've dreamed about that my whole life of broadcasting. Is that you get to the set and you have no. Like I used to dream literally that I would get to my set, get ready to start my sportscast or my newscast, and I not only had no scripts, I would have no tapes.
Oh yeah,
right. Remember
Nothing,
when we
yeah.
used to have to bring the stack of tapes, and I always dreamed I forgot to give it to him. Yeah, and I was like, that was what I felt like right there. That helpless feeling of being locked out of your computer. Your entire script is in the computer, and I'm going, oh my God. I can't get in. I literally had to ad-lib that entire
Think how
newscast.
reliant we are now on the computers. And you didn't have it and it was gone.
No,
like in the good old days, at least you had a 5-thick carbon copy of what you just typed out on your IBM Selectric, and that's gone.
Prompters would go down all the time. No problem. I got this paper script in front of me. Well, we've become so dependent on our computers.
We were just talking about that before the news, too.
We were. We said, what would happen if we lost electricity, like in the world, if there was a grid shutdown?
Oh, my gosh.
How
like
your
chaos
life
that would break out.
Oh, total chaos. I mean, your whole life depends on it.
And then your computer shut down.
My script would be the last thing I'd be worried about, right? I mean,
I saw a great meme the other day. It said, I wonder what happened to that part of my brain that used to know the phone numbers of every one of my friends.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know any of the numbers anymore. You just have your phone call it.
And could you not still remember most of those numbers?
I can remember a lot of them. Remember my home phone number, certainly.
My best friend's number, I'd remember that for sure because I'd call him, 3 times a day.
Yeah.
But boy, oh man, I'm just sitting there going. So if you're wondering, like, why was Dan kind of meandering? Because I had no script.
You did a great job.
Kim says it was live theater.
It was live. She probably felt my pain. But I'm going to start printing them out as a backup. I'm just saying. That will never happen again.
At least one copy of something to grab. And
something that just,
that's great.
Exactly.
All right. Glad you are back here with us on the Marc Cox Morning Show. Ryan Schmelz coming up shortly. Da-dum, da-dum. We need some Jaws music here. There might be a government shutdown.
Who cares?
I sort of feel the same way you do. It's anticlimactic at this point.
And keep in mind, when people say shutdown, it doesn't mean like no Social Security checks go out. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be Medicaid. All that continues to operate. They have what they call essential programs that always will continue to run. I just don't know if I'd notice if
if you're not dependent on a government program,
well, that's true.
You probably wouldn't notice it. But like you're right, those essential things like
Social Security,
Section
Medicaid.
8, all that stuff's getting paid.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there will be some people affected. Whenever I say that, somebody calls up and says, "Well, my so and so cousin works for such and such, and they're not going to get their paycheck." And I'm like, "Well, they'll get paid. It may just take a week or two, but they will eventually get paid for whatever has happened here." Here's the thing about it: it's a political ploy. And normally it gets hung around the neck of the Republicans, and that's what the Democrats are trying to do right now. But the Republicans, if you listen to John Thune, they've already got the bill sitting there waiting to be voted on that would continue the government at current spending levels.
Right. 2 months.
And the Democrats are refusing to sign it. They will not play ball, period.
Because
So
they
that's on them.
think they can hold us hostage with their threat of shutting down, but yet they'll still blame us for the shutdown. It makes no sense. Like they're saying, well, we'll shut down government if you don't give us everything we want. So you are willing to shut down the government for your reckless spending.
Do you remember when under the Obama administration, the government shut down and the Obama administration sent people out to rope off the World War II museum just to try to make people feel the pain of what Republicans have put them through, even though that's not a museum. It's just it's a sculpture. It's outdoor.
Yeah, it's an
There's
exhibit.
no reason that there were people in wheelchairs veterans who came to D.C. to see the World War II memorial, and they couldn't roll their wheelchairs down the ramps to see it because the Obama administration had put barriers around it, ordered the Park Service to put barriers around it. And there's just no reason for that. It was purely political.
If the shutdown happens, does the IRS stop working so we wouldn't maybe have to pay our taxes during that period? Or not? Probably not. They're probably still working.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Anyway.
The taxes keep going, but the spending just halts.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, we're going to get to all that for you coming up here in just a couple of minutes. But first of all, we want to get to our top stories. Hit it.
The Marc Cox Short List.
We must fight fire with fire. So CBC, let's get to work.
All right, Kamala Harris calling for more fire in a crowded theater. I don't know what she's thinking about. The woman who wanted to be president, who claims it was the closest election of the 21st century. I don't know what she's been sipping on between speeches, but that's what Kamala said this weekend at a Congressional Black Caucus meeting.
So everybody's sitting around saying, my God, I can't believe Trump's doing this. You had to know Trump was going to be like this. Number one, because he's Donald Trump, but also number two, because of everything that they put him through.
That's Charlemagne the God. I don't know if you listen to the guy, but he's got a network syndicated show. He's a hard left Democrat, but occasionally he hits the truth he hits the nail on the head when it comes to the truth.
Him and Stephen Smith both flipping on us.
You did this to him. You can't be surprised, even if most of us don't believe that's exactly what's going on here.
We've made clear that we're ready, willing, and able to sit down with anyone at any time and at any place in order to make sure that we can actually fund the government, avoid a painful Republican-caused shutdown, and address the health care crisis that Republicans have caused.
There it is, Hakeem, right at the very end. Address the health care crisis. So they what they want to do is they're afraid these Obamacare subsidies are going to go away. Always remember, Obamacare only works if you don't. If they strip the subsidies out of it, even the people who love it are suddenly not going to love it anymore.
There are many things that he could have been indicted for, but the statute of limitations ran out on so many of those matters.
Yep, that's Mike Johnson talking about James Comey. We've talked about it a few times this morning. Hopefully you listened to our interview with Gregg Jarrett last hour, and we talked to Hans von Spakovsky earlier. And both of these are legal experts who both admitted that it might be a tough legal road to get him convicted on this, which is a shame, but innocent or proven guilty. James Comey drove the fake Russian collusion hoax. He was in the driver's seat along with Mueller. He all of the things that happened there happened because of James Comey, and the statute of limitations has expired on most of that. I pray they get him on the on lying to Congress, but I don't know if those two esteemed legal minds or think it's a tough road. It'll be. We'll be biting our nails for this thing's over.
I think a lot depends on the whistleblowers. Who at the DOJ, FBI are going to be willing to roll on him of what he knew, what he directed, what he actually told them to do. McCabe being one. Has McCabe changed, to save his own butt? Has he actually agreed to come forward? There's a lot to come out of this. I think just the trial alone is going to expose a lot, regardless of whether they get him on the lying to Congress. I think they will take the opportunity to talk about all the corruption in that DOJ while he was there and the FBI.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that one, but let's hope they're doing their due diligence on that. Coming up, we'll check in with our buddy Ryan Schmelz, who is a St. Louisan himself. We will find out what he's covering up there in D.C., which is, of course, only the government shutdown. That's all that matters in D.C. is whether the lights are still going to be on up there in about 48 hours. A little less than that, actually. We'll get to Ryan right after the break.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Watch out. Thank you to Mama Kay for letting me know about a 2-car fender bender just north of Costco, right there on northbound 141. It's on the right shoulder, but it is causing just a little bit of a delay. Now, on the roads, 70 eastbound has really had some issues this morning. There was an accident kind of as you approach 79, and that caused a jam. Then we had an accident as you approach the inner belt, and that caused a delay. Looks better. There was an accident east of the inner belt as well that caused a delay, but that looks better. Now we've got an accident eastbound on 364, and that is just coming off of the bridge. And that's approaching 141, so there's a jam there. Eastbound 6440 actually looks pretty good this morning. That's your best bet from out west. Moderate volume at Timberlake Manor and between Lindbergh and Big Bend. Northbound 270, just moderate volume, approaching 44 on up through 64. And we look good on the bridges downtown if you're headed in from Illinois. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
I was playing with my grandkids just yesterday, and we got them these little tops when we were in Budapest. And, you pull the string and they spin around on the floor. And I'm looking at the floor, obviously, because that's what they were sitting on. Of course, we got our floor from Michael's Flooring Outlet. It is engineered hardwood with the big wide planks, and it's beautiful. And the great thing about it is it's so durable. I don't have to worry about the kids spinning tops on it or the dog with its, sometimes claws that need to be trimmed running around on it. It's going to take the abuse, and I love that. Whatever you're looking for in flooring, Michael's Flooring Outlet is going to be able to take care of that for you. If they've got it in stock, and they keep a lot of the latest trends in stock, you might get it installed the next day. Maybe that's too soon for you. I don't know, but if you got an event coming up, you're hosting Thanksgiving, you want to get some new flooring in place, call Michael and check him out. You can visit one of their 3 locations, Old Town St. Peter's there on Main Street, West County off of Olive west of 270, or the newest store in Darting Prairie. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. Tell them what you're looking for. They're going to get you taken care of, and they got some fantastic Mohawk products up there, like that stain-resistant Smart Strand Mohawk silk carpet. It's luxurious. You need to go up there and put your feet on it, feel it. You're going to love it. Check them out online at igotfloor.com.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Totally up to the Democrats. The ball is in their court. There is a bill sitting at the desk in the Senate right now. We could pick it up today and pass it. That has been passed by the House, that will be signed into law by the president to keep the government open.
There you have it. John Thune yesterday saying we're ready to go, trying to point fingers at the Democrats. We got Ryan Schmelz on the phone right now from Fox News Radio. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing good, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So I guess if they don't get this figured out in this meeting today, Washington goes dark, correct?
Yeah, well, it pretty much, I think if this meeting, they don't figure out in this meeting today, the chances of a government shutdown are very, 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 very likely.
Yeah.
There could be an anomaly where you have this vote on a motion to proceed on the bill that Leader Thune was just alluding to there that would avoid a government shutdown. You know, it needs 60 votes. You know, there could be some Democrats who decide, you know what, we got a good deal on the table. It's not that bad. Let's avoid a shutdown, and they might vote to proceed. But hey, that's going to be a highly unlikely thing to happen because you're going to need upwards of 9 or so Democrats to be willing to do that, and they just simply, so far, only one said that they are willing to do it.
Wow. So no way. The Republicans have 53. Wouldn't they? Would they just need 7?
Well, you have Rand Paul as a no, and Lisa Murkowski voted no last time. So you had John Fetterman that gets you up to 52. So right there, you need 8 more after that. So
wow.
It's the math is a little rough. Now I think Murkowski could be somebody who's willing to flip, but it's going to be hard to get Rand Paul to a yes on that.
Well, it's just a continuing resolution, right? Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It actually does spend a little bit more money because there's funding in there, a couple $1 million for member security, lawmakers, President Trump's cabinet, as well as the judicial branch. But besides that, it's pretty much, it's a clean extension of government funding. And that's why you hear Republicans make the argument that they feel this is actually a pretty good deal. So why not just take it?
What are the main points that the Democrats are trying to fight on? Everyone hears the Medicaid argument. They want the money to still go to illegals, and they want those Obama incentives or the gap funding that the Obama tax credits or whatever they were. They want that reinstated, and the Republicans spent a lot of time on DOJ to clean up a lot of those deficit problems, right?
Yeah, and so pretty much healthcare is what the Democrats have latched onto as the main debate point. They want these Obamacare subsidies, the tax credits that are expiring at the end of the year to be included in this package. And Republicans have pushed back and said, well, no, we think that's something that should be decided separate from a government funding package and, to be reformed in at least some capacity. So it's something that Republicans are interested in. We've definitely talked to a number of them who want to see these incentives at least extended in some regard. But at the same time, the Republicans haven't been willing to budge on putting it into a government funding package, and so that's where the hang-up's been.
Yeah, and now when is the deadline? Is it tomorrow night at midnight?
Tomorrow at midnight. Yep. So Wednesday at 12/00/0001.
And the essentials, they always say, it's going to affect Social Security. Most of the essential programs continue, correct? So your
correct.
Social Security checks still go out. The Medicaid payments still continue to go to hospitals and medical groups. The big things are the kind of the non-emergency stuff, right? State parks federal parks, right? Federal parks will shut down.
Yeah, the employees are going to probably miss some paychecks here and there, which can be a major problem with rent payments being due coming up soon. But I think the big one usually is that if this drags on for a while, sometimes TSA can start being affected, and that has a ripple effect where everyone can have a headache from that if TSA is ever short-staffed for anything, honestly.
Military not impacted,
Is it
right?
TSA impacted because of people who are contract employees? Is that the reason?
Well, they start missing their paychecks. Some of them start getting furloughed. So it's pretty much, the air traffic and kind of the securities that you see at the airport are going to become more challenging. So that's probably the big one to watch for early on. But there's some other ones too. But in the meantime, yes, it's not going to be a major, skyrocketing of change at first, but it's when these things start to drag on when they become a huge problem.
Yeah. Well, I'm not asking you to go too far outside of your bounds as a reporter here, but in the past, this always seems to have been hung politically on the Republicans for shutting down government. I guess they're hedging their bets that they've got the upper hand this time.
There is a level of confidence in this one that Republicans feel that this could be the first one, in their words, to be blamed solely on the Democrats. And Republicans have kind of unified around this messaging, calling it the Schumer shutdown. So Republicans certainly do believe that this is going to be something that comes back on Democrats if they refuse to take the offer on the table, which they think is a very good offer. But obviously things could change in this meeting today. We'll see.
In the meantime, nobody's talking about Epstein or maybe even Comey right now.
Yeah, well, they need to keep the government open if they want to vote on the Epstein file stuff. So let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ryan Schmelz, we appreciate your time, my friend. Thank you.
Hey, have a good one, Mark. Thank you.
We'll talk to you again soon. Yeah.
Always good. St. Louisan, too, by the way.
He is.
He's from here in St. Louis.
He is. Good.
If you want to go up to the Arch, this may be your best chance in the next month. Do it the next couple of days if you feel like going to the Federal Park downtown.
I think they'll buckle. I mean, Schumer took a lot of heat for it last time, and I think that's why he doesn't want to do it this time.
Let's have a bourbon bet on that one.
Oh, you don't think
it's shutting down?
You think it's shutting down?
I think it's shutting down.
All right.
Yep.
We'll see. We'll toast Wednesday morning one way or the other.
All right.
I got some desk bourbon in there. Trust me. Okay. We'll get that taken care of. Coming up, Tommy Ackerman in studio on the Mizzou versus Alabama in 2 weeks. Stay tuned.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Democratic and Republican congressional leaders are heading to the White House for a meeting with President Trump today in a last-ditch effort to avoid a government shutdown. The government will partially shut down Wednesday morning if Congress cannot pass a short-term spending bill. Chinese electric vehicle maker BYD forecast exports will make up about 20% of its global sales this year, helped by new model launches. BYD forecasts 800,000 to 1 million deliveries outside mainland China in 2025. This compares with the projected total sales of 4.6 million units, citing BYD's general manager of branding and public relations, Yi Yunfei. Oil prices are sharply lower by more than 1.2% on Ukraine drone attacks cutting Russian supply. West Texas Intermediate currently sitting at $64.36 per barrel. Brent currently sitting at $68.86 per barrel. Futures are moderately higher. Friday, the Dow Industrials gained 299. That's Your Money Now.
Pure opportunity. It's what Michigan is all about. The opportunity to do more. The opportunity to connect with the best talent. The opportunity for people of all backgrounds to grow and expand their business. The opportunity to live and work in a state where paychecks go further. The opportunity is now and is right here in Michigan. Visit MichiganBusiness.org to discover all the ways the Michigan Economic Development Corporation can help your business thrive.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly. Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. We have definitely had some issues on the roads, but we're looking better out there. Quiet through North County. Eastbound 70, though, there was an accident approaching 79, and it left us with a delay that has yet to thin out. Then we're slow again east of Lindbergh. There was an earlier accident there. Then things open up. Eastbound 364, there was an accident between the bridge and 141. They've moved that as far off to the right as they can. Still a delay in that area. 6440, most of the volume is between Lindbergh and Big Bend. And northbound 270, thinning out, but some moderate of volume between Doherty Ferry and Ladue Road. And if you're headed in from Illinois, we actually look good on the bridges downtown. This report brought to you by The Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
All right, heads up, attention, please. If you're looking to refinance your mortgage, Golden Oak Lending has rates at 4.5% now. Yes, you heard that correctly. They've lowered the rates to 4.5%. Call them today at 314-567-GOLD, whether you're looking to buy your dream home or whether you're looking to refinance the one you're in and maybe tap into some of that equity. This would be the time to reach out to Golden Oak Lending because, think about that, you take that equity out, you pay off a high-interest credit card that you're paying maybe $400, $500, $600 a month just to keep up with. You're eliminating that. That's cash back in your pocket. Plus, you usually don't have a mortgage for 2 months after a mortgage payment for 2 months after you refinance. Think what you could do with that around the holidays. Call Golden Oak Lending right now, 314-567-GOLD. Tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it and you want to know if they can help you out. Their experienced mortgage professionals will help you. They'll talk you through it right over the phone, and they'll be honest with you if they can't help you. So, and of course, they never ask for a credit card. It is risk-free. 314-567-GOLD, goldenoaklending.com. That is a 5.4 APR FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. Their NMLS number is 114937.
Baron Glass and Door, simply the finest when it comes to glass, mirror, and shower doors. Why? That's easy. Our sales staff and installation team consist of decades and decades of knowledge, consistently keeping updated on all of the industry's newest and greatest ideas, which of course means you get the best advice along with the best installation. One trip to Chesterfield Valley will show you why our prices aren't the only reason to buy from us. That's Baron Glass and Door.
The amazing Nissan Now sales event is on at St. Charles Nissan. Thank you for making us the #1 Nissan dealer in Missouri for 2024. This month, take $10,000 off MSRP or get 0% APR for 72 months on a new 2024 Murano. Or take $7,000 off MSRP or get 0% APR for 60 months on a new 2024 Rogue. Hurry in. These amazing offers end February 28th. Visit us online at stcharlesnissan.com. Call 636-244-8448 for details.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Your voice, your values. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
A great sportsman like Tom Ackerman. Baseball's really not a hard sport.
It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
It's like powered by coffee this morning.
Sports, sponsored by McDonald's, reminding you to round up your total for Ronald McDonald House charities on your next order.
All right, Tom Ackerman in studio. All right, I don't know where to start, man. Ryder Cup, Indiana football, Mizzou football. I mean, we got
what does your audience want?
The Cardinals ending their season.
That's what I always do this time of year. I think, what does my audience want?
I'm thinking Mizzou, Alabama in 2 weeks. What do you think?
I think that is going to be the determination as to whether Missouri is considered seriously in the SEC or not. Missouri right now, if you asked someone at Mizzou, of course, they're going to say, yeah, we're good. I mean, they're 5-0, and they're really good. They're 19th in the country. If you ask someone in the SEC about Missouri, they're like, yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, it could be good.
Soft schedule?
No, I mean, the second half of the schedule certainly
not the
isn't.
Second half,
yeah,
but
like,
first half.
yeah, like so far, you know, they've beaten South Carolina, and that was a great win. They beat Kansas. Solid, a great rivalry. But, yeah, most people in the SEC would say, I mean, they're fine. They'll be considered a playoff contender if they beat Alabama in 2 weeks. Illinois, they got shellacked by Indiana 63-10. They turned around and they beat USC on Saturday. They're back in consideration as a team that's in the top 25. They're ranked 22. Now, they spring one on Ohio State in 2 weeks. They've got to beat Purdue on the road coming up this Saturday. But if they can find a way to upset Ohio State in 2 weeks, now you're talking college football playoff picture again. Those two teams right now, Missouri's ahead of them, but Missouri's got a great, great game on their hands. My team, Indiana, is 5-0. Solid win at Iowa. Geez, I mean that I knew that was going to be a slog. Iowa plays. They never fumble the ball away. They always tackle hard.
Tough at home.
They are always tough at home. They love to keep the game low scoring. They do the same thing over and over, and they have for like 20 years. Run, short pass on third down, first down. Run. That's just what they do. And they just picked it apart, and then Indiana found a way to win the game. Indiana's 5-0. They're off this weekend. They have a huge one coming up the same day as Mizzou and Illinois do. They're playing at Oregon. Now, they'll go in there thinking we can change this whole thing if we can pull one on Oregon. Oregon's great. Right. Oregon beat Penn State. Indiana fans are going to say, hey, you lose this one, it doesn't hurt you. I mean, in the playoffs, you lose this one, it doesn't hurt you.
Right.
Kurt Cignetti, the Indiana coach, is going to say, forget that. We're going to go in there. We're going to tell these guys we're going to go in there and win this thing. So, college football is going to be very interesting. 3, 4, and 5 all lost on Saturday. Penn State, LSU, and Georgia all lost. They've been replaced in the standings now in the top 25. Oregon's up to 2. Miami dropped to 3. Ole Miss is up to 4. And Oklahoma's 5. But Oklahoma doesn't have their quarterback. Their quarterback, Mateer, who's tremendous, is injured and will be out for at least a couple of games. So this thing's going to get flipped around again, probably, and it's going to get very, very interesting.
So did Indiana move up? They were 11th, right?
They're 8 now, yeah.
They're at 8,
Yep.
Okay.
The parity in college football is fun.
It's great.
You're seeing a lot of upsets. 4 of the top 10 lose this week.
Alabama beat Georgia. They're kind of back in the picture. Yeah, it's like a little NFL now.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting paid, and teams are, starting to even out a little bit. I mean, you just know there is no dominant team, and everybody's kind of in the game. And you have a 12-team playoff, and it should get really interesting. I mean, I'll tell you that Penn State, everybody now wants to fire the coach because James Franklin can't win a big game. Like, hello, they just lost to Oregon. Oregon's great.
Great team.
They were a national semifinalist last year, and Penn State can get in the playoff. I mean, they can be a top 12 in the college football playoff. They got to keep winning. So, yeah, it's going to get wild. Everybody thinks they know, and then the next week it changes. I love it. I love it.
Let's flip to the hunt for October, all right? The Major League Baseball wild card starts tomorrow night. I love 3 teams in this playoff.
Okay.
All right.
Who you got?
I got, the Brewers at $116 million payroll, Guardians at $100 million payroll, and the Tigers, and the Reds even. I mean, you're talking teams in the lower tier. Those 4 teams I'd love to see advance because they're so low on the payroll.
You could take 3 of those teams, combine their payrolls, and they wouldn't get to the New York Mets payroll. And the Mets are out.
And the Dodgers, too, at 300.
Beautiful thing.
Dodgers.
And I picked the Mets to win the World Series.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I thought they should be in the playoffs.
On
that
paper.
is a colossal collapse and a disgrace, actually. If I were a Mets fan, I would be incensed.
The Dodgers are not out, are they?
Dodgers are in.
Oh,
I'm talking about the Mets.
Yeah.
The Mets are what a disappointment.
Yeah.
I mean, what a disappointment they are. That those players let that thing go for 3.5 months, basically, and thought, we'll be all right, we'll be all right, and now they're on the outside. And the Reds found a way to get in there, and the Mets are out. But, yeah, you're right. And that's actually very good news for Cardinals fans, and it's good news for Hein Bloom, because when he addresses the media tomorrow on KMOX at 10 o'clock in the morning, he is going to say that we can do this, and here's how we're going to do it. We're going to draft. We're going to develop. We're going to be we want to be the strongest minor league system again. The Cardinals invented the farm system. The Cardinals have always been the farm system that everybody envied, and that's what we're going to get back to being. That's what he's going to say on Tuesday, and he's going to lay out a plan on how to do that. And the Cardinals want to be that. They want to be the Brewers.
Yeah.
Again, they should look at the Reds situation and say we can get there. And on it goes. That's how you build it. You do not have to throw down $300 million to achieve this, nor can the Cardinals do that anyway. Now, there's the haves and have-nots, as John Mozeliak laid out to me yesterday in our conversation, and that has changed baseball, and so the Cardinals can't rely on attendance and TV revenue anymore. You know, they used to get away with it. They could, as a small market team, because they had high attendance and that huge TV deal. That has changed dramatically. So now you have to go back to, you must draft and develop and develop your own stars and then retain them.
Can you tell me he took part of the blame for that?
Of course he does.
Did he take it? Did he admit, we didn't put the
He's done it many times.
Yeah.
He's done it many times. They just could not sustain it. And, that's on his watch. But he did have it to the point where everybody copied him. He developed the team that was number one. The Cardinals had the best organization in baseball under his watch also.
Yeah.
So you can't sit there and crush him for 3 years and not acknowledge the prior 27. Because Mozeliak, when he became general manager in 2007, set out to build the minor league system to be the envy of baseball. It's exactly what he did. In 2011, they took all of those stars. They won the World Series. And on top of it, they were Organization of the Year. And everybody started to try to copy what they did. And now they've all done that. And the Cardinals thought they had that system that could sustain years, and it did not. It started to fall back. Now they're reallocating the resources to it. And by the way, their minor league system right now is not that bad. I mean, the Springfield Cardinals just won the Texas League.
Texas League champs.
They're considered to be the number 9 or 10 minor league system in baseball. They want to be number 1, though.
And money doesn't win championships, as the Mets clearly indicated. But you also have the 17th, the 14th in the Tigers, 17th lowest payroll in the Brewers, 19th in the Reds, and the 26th lowest payroll is the Guardians. I mean, you've got 4 teams there that all have a legitimate shot, I think, of advancing, and they're not spending huge money.
How about the Guardians? 15.5 out on July 6th. Now they've won the AL Central.
Crazy.
15.5 out, and they've won the AL Central. And the Tigers, the team that they beat, is the team that they're playing in the wild card.
Yeah.
Red Sox, Yankees, going to be fun.
Yeah.
National League, you got Cubs, Padres at Wrigley. Should be great. And then, as you mentioned, Dodgers, Reds. With the Brewers and Phillies having a little time off, I don't love that if I'm a fan of those teams. I don't like time off. Nope. I think that you should be able to work out, get some things going. Don't stiffen up now. Mariners and Blue Jays get a little time off. I guess to get healthy is one thing, but, man, I'd want to be playing if I were those teams.
When did the Blues start?
They just played Saturday. They took on the Blackhawks, exhibition home opener for them. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good.
I missed the wild card game where it was one and done.
Yeah.
One game for all the who moves on. Now they got the 3-game series.
Best of 3. It stays in the same park.
That way.
Stays in the same park.
Yep.
So who am I picking? No idea. I guess if I had to pick one right now, I love what the Phillies have. I think the Phillies have tons of power, a lot of stars up and down the lineup. And on the American League side, who could deny the Mariners right now? They look awesome. They've got the best home run hitter in the game right now in Cal Raleigh, and they've got tons of pitching. Pretty fun what's going on up there. Yeah.
All right.
It's going to be a great postseason.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Good to see you. We're going to be back here in just a minute.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we are thinning out nicely. Now, if you're on the Illinois side, it's looked good all morning. And we look fine through North County on westbound 270. But eastbound 70, there was an accident, and it was just a little bit east of Highway K. Still a delay in that area and past the airport. 64 out west isn't bad. Most of the volume is east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. Westbound kind of slowing in that area as well. Southbound 270, some moderate volume, mainly at Ladue Road. Northbound just slowing on either side of Manchester. So that's not too bad. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey. Well, my furnace broken, it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly because they're open till 8, jerrykelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on, Jerry Kelly.
Mark Reardon isn't here to echo talking points. He challenges them. Smart, fast, and always original. The Mark Reardon Show. Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Accidents can happen in the blink of an eye, especially in a busy city like St. Louis. Whether you're a rideshare driver or passenger, injuries can leave you feeling lost, confused, and unsure of where to turn. At Kaufman Townsley, we understand. We're from here. We live in St. Louis, and we know what it takes to fight for the rights of our neighbors. We're here to help you through the difficult time with the experience and care you deserve. Kaufman Townsley, real people, real results. Call 314-500-5000. That's 314-500-5000.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again, my blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Stop smoking. Lose weight now without craving, irritability, or your money back. Early bird special, only $49.99 guaranteed. Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight. Stop smoking. Feel great for only $49.99 guaranteed. Saturday, October 18th at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis. Weight loss seminar, 11 a.m. Registration, 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar, 2 p.m. Learn more at markpatrickseminars.com. That's right, markpatrickseminars.com.
Hey, is your Generac home standby generator ready for the next outage? Are you overdue for annual maintenance? Schedule an inspection today with Generator Supercenter and ensure your Generac generator is ready when you need it most. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote Renter's Insurance at Progressive.com.
Cutting through the spin. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
You know how much of the Ryder Cup that I watched? Zero. Because I didn't get back until late Saturday from our trip, and I didn't watch any media when I was in Europe. And then I just basically, between sleeping in and unpacking and all that, I didn't watch any of it. My son updated me on the fact that the Americans made a dramatic comeback, but it still wasn't enough. The media I did see on it, though, was how obnoxious the fans were to the European players. And I got to be honest with you, I don't get that. And as Tom was leaving the room there, I said, what was your reaction to that? He goes, it was disgusting, and I think the only answer is not to ever have it in New York again.
Yeah, well, they get the U.S. Open coming up, too.
I know.
Yeah, so the same ruckus fans are going to be there for the U.S. Open. But, yeah, I just thought the American team, Shambo, a few of the others were also mouthy. There was a lot of trash talking going along, but from the captains to the players to the venue to the broadcasters, it was just kind of an embarrassment to the game, I felt, at least for Americans. I just think our fans were pretty deplorable.
It was not a good look, I didn't think. I don't know I know they make a lot of money off of it, so what they're not going to do is suspend it.
Oh, no. It's
because they make too much money off of it.
It's such a popular event.
But what do you think that they do about just changing the rules and just telling everybody and just putting it right on the ticket? If you're disruptive and rude to the players, you could be removed and you're will not be allowed back in.
Dude, they would have had to throw thousands of people out. I am
talking,
they were chanting
but if you warn
F you type stuff.
If you warn them in advance, more sternly, I didn't hear any of those warnings this time. We're not going to put up with that at the next Ryder Cup. We will have people in the audience looking for you, and you might just get a tap on the shoulder and be escorted out.
The PA announcer was leading a couple of the chants
I know,
in the
and
middle
she had
of
to
it.
retire.
Yeah, she got fired
Resigned.
for it.
She got fired for it, basically.
Yeah, I just think keep it out of New York. You'll be okay.
You think it's New York?
I just think
it's not just a New York thing.
Yeah, well, unless you're, down in the Arizona, what's the one where
the
everybody,
Republic one or whatever.
Not Republic, the other waste management.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Waste management.
Oh, that's a drunk fest.
But it's designed.
That's their fault.
It's designed to be that way, and the players know what to expect going in. That it's going to be a free for all, and the fans are allowed. That's one tournament a year where if you want to go get ruckus, it's like rugby meets golf. It's like outrageous. outrageous.
Have you been down there?
Oh, yeah. I went about 7 years ago, and it's gotten more outrageous since then. Actually, a friend of mine's son was on national television. He took down to his underwear, sprinted across the fairway on national television and did a swan dive into one of the lakes.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
It was your buddy's
it was a friend
son?
of mine, actually, my corporate attorney in Kansas City. It was her son. Proud moment for a mom.
Oh, my gosh.
Very proud moment for that mother. She was like, unbelievable. She sent me a clip going, oh, my gosh. Look what my son did. And he got arrested for that little
Well, of
thing.
course he did.
Good
I'm
thing his
sure.
mom's a good attorney.
I'm sure he did.
But that's designed to be that way. The Ryder Cup has always been a respectful, incredible event between between European golfers and American golfers, and it's just a shame.
Well, I will make this comment. I just got back from 10 days in Europe. We were in Prague. We were in Vienna then, and then we went to Budapest, and we took a bus between all three of those cities, which are, 4 or 5 hours apart in total, and stopped in a lot of small towns. And, I don't speak Czech, and I don't speak Hungarian, and I don't speak German. Almost everybody in all of those towns did speak English.
Yep.
I was able to communicate with them, and I really can't say that we weren't mistreated by anyone in Europe for being American. I think they appreciate tourists, number one, and we really didn't ever get except one restaurant we went to where after we walked in, it looked like a little local place, and then they refused to seat us and told us they only take reservations. And I kind of think they didn't want tourists in there, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But other than that, it was a fantastic experience, and I would highly recommend it for people. Guidester Travel is the one we went with, and I mentioned this earlier. Starting in January, we'll start talking about this more on the air. We're going to do a trip next year at the end of September to Switzerland, and it's going to be awesome. I've always wanted to go to Switzerland. It's been a bucket
time of year
list.
will that one be?
September
Probably.
30th.
Okay, so another fall trip, because I know most people who go to Switzerland go during ski season.
It'll be right at the beginning of ski season, I think.
Okay.
Although I'm not a skier,
Yeah.
so I'd rather sit in the lodge and drink and watch somebody else break their leg.
Skiers say it's the best in the world.
Oh, I've heard.
The Alps there are just remarkable.
I've heard.
So.
Into September next year, you'll have your opportunity. We'll be talking more about it probably first week of January. So if I get more details before then, I'll let you know.
So good having you back, brother.
Thank you, man.
Awesome.
I appreciate you filling in while I was gone and helping out with Ryan Recker and everyone else. And we're back. It was a well deserved vacation for me. We needed that.
Absolutely.
That was great. Wife and I had a great time. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
My husband will jokingly give me a hard time because I'm always looking for projects to do around the home, and I know I'm not the only one who does that. Just different upgrades I'd love to do, and it can be overwhelming. You don't really know where to start, and it just seems stressful, right? You don't even want to begin. Well, what you need to do is call Lakeside Renovation and Design. This is a family-owned company.